Okay, you guys, welcome. Can you hear me, Jay?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, because I was wondering, I thought I saw. Let me see if I can bring Bree in here. Okay, let me see. Hey, you guys. Hey. Jay is on the line with us this week as well, so you get to talk to Jay Money. Okay, there she is. Hey, Bree.
There we go. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Okay, you can hear
Hey,
Jay?
Jay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I can hear everybody.
Okay, so Trish is not going to be with us. She's a little bit under the weather today. So, welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk, where it's going to be myself, T. Then we got J Money, we got Bree, and then we got Keisha. Keisha will be joining in a little bit. And we're going to be breaking down the Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful for the week of July 29th through August 2nd. I don't know about this week. Some stuff was kind of like, eh, we had little spikes here and there this week. What y'all think?
You can say it's boring. It was boring for both shows this whole week, at least for me. I'll speak for myself.
It felt like a lackluster week this week.
Yeah, I know. It was, I was like, yeah, okay. Some stuff, especially I think on the Young and the Restless, because I, I think we're bogged down with enough of the whole mental health storylines.
Mm-hmm.
And to bring in another one, and I mean, granted, Sharon Case is doing extremely well acting out the character. I'm not interested in another mental health storyline right now. They usually give us a break between each one if they want to give us some sort of awareness. But it's been back to back to back, at least for what, the last year and a half?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually summer is supposed to be for, fun and like romance and maybe even affairs, but like all of this stuff is, it's a little too dark.
Yeah. What do you think, Bree? Is she still there?
It's a
Oh, there
little
she go.
too much. I'm still here.
Oh, I
It's
was Go ahead.
no, I think it's like a 2 second delay or something.
Okay.
But yeah, I highly agree with that. And no offense to the actors whatsoever, but it seems like everyone's having a mental breakdown. Like Chelsea's about to have a breakdown. She's dealing with Connor. He has this stuff going on, but that's a baby. I understand.
Right.
But it's and then Nikki is recovering from her alcoholism and it's just a lot. Like, where is the fun?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, dang it! Like, come on! Like, this is like J Money was saying. Like last year we had soap, and that was hot, steamy, spicy, sexy, fun, exciting. It got us talking and looking forward to new episodes. I
Exactly.
don't know. Both shows are just kind of just disappointing me a little bit this week.
I know. I agree with you on there. Exactly, Cheryl Hines. She says soaps are supposed to be about romance. And I know on Wednesday we tried to do a midweek chat. We had a lot of technical difficulties going on with YouTube. And then I think my system popped on, but we were already off and moved on. So, yeah, we just waited to decide to break down everything on Fridays or tonight's live. So, yeah, exactly, Vicky. Too many breakdowns. All right. So, like I said, we're going to recap both The Young and the Restless, The Bold and the Beautiful for 729 through 82. We do The Young and the Restless in the first half of the show, second half of the show, Bold and the Beautiful. Then we also have other small segments, Flip the Script, Who's Taken Several Seats, Star of the Week, and the Pickle of the Week. And I should create a whole category putting people on Delulu Island, but because we had some delusion going on this week. But ooh, I know two people right off the top of my head who I would love to ship off to Delulu Island. So
Mm-hmm.
all right, so without any other further ado, let's go ahead and we're gonna start off with The Young and the Restless. I'm going to give a summary and then we're going to break down the storylines for this week, okay? Y'all ready?
Sounds good.
All right.
Alrighty. Hold on one second. Let me pull up my notes. Okay. So, for The Young and the Restless, for the week of July 29th through August 2nd, Jack loses it. Oh, back up. I forgot Monday. Sharon lies about her mental state. Faith thinks that she's off her meds, and Sally accuses Billy of trying to turn her against Adam. Jack loses it on his brat of a son, Kyle, while Chelsea worries that she blurted out too much information to paranoid Billy. Sharon realizes something is seriously wrong while Devon follows a tip from Victor and urges Lily to get out now. Sharon hallucinates seeing Cameron Kirsten after revealing that she's off her meds, and Lily admits that she is still playing Billy. And then Cameron terrorizes Sharon as Lucy lies her way into a concert with Faith, and Victor is goading Billy. So where do y'all want to start?
Oh, so much boring plot lines to choose from. I guess we can get Sharon stuff out the way.
That took up the second half of the week. What'd you say, Jay?
I said, yeah, let's get the depressing stuff out of the way.
Yeah. I again, like I was saying at the beginning of this show, is that I mean we have had story after story after story for the last year and a half. We had Chelsea originally trying to jump off of a building. Then we had the whole thing with Nikki. Then we had the whole thing with Ashley. Then we had Connor. And then we now have Sharon. And like Bree just said, one of you, I think it was Bree, was just saying about look like Chelsea is about to have another nervous breakdown. I'm just
yeah, she sure is.
Yeah.
Every episode.
Yeah.
She's about to freak out, have like oh my god, like why did you say that? Adam, what are you doing? And he's just like sipping coffee and everything. It's just like girl, just calm down. It's not that serious. Well, I can't say that's not that serious. I understand the thing with Connor, that's a very serious thing. But you should be able to kind of hold it together, at least for your son. But it seems like they keep hinting that she's going to eventually break down.
Yeah.
Or like Connor's gonna break down after finding out that his parents slept together. Like it's always someone breaking down or like someone breaking from reality, and we're supposed to be watching soaps to kind of break from our own reality. Not to say that we do not appreciate the fine acting. I know everyone's working on them Emmy reels. I get it, but where is the excitement, the romance? I mean, we get all these little kissing scenes through Sharon's hallucinations, and that's pretty much it so far.
Yeah. Because that was the other thing about we saw. Now, I will say what we saw with Ashley's storyline with the DID, and we saw Belle, and we saw Ash. That was kind of funny. Even though the illness itself isn't, but when they had Belle doing what she was doing, and then we had Ash with bad makeup and all this kind of stuff, it kind of brought a little bit extra to that whole DID storyline. I don't know. I mean, her kissing Nick, I'm like, okay, are y'all trying to have a chic reunion? It does deep down inside of her, she wants Nick back in her life. Then this Cameron Kirsten. Now I gotta say, I don't mind, Lyndon Ashby popping in there, and he kind of posted to social media that it was coming, so a lot of us knew about it. But I don't know. It's just all doom and gloom with her, and she's spaced out, and she's staring in space, and she's not knowing where she is, and
And then the fact that they got that man look at how he looked when he was unalived. That makes it even worse. He's standing there with blood all over him, and it's like, come on, you could have at least let the man, like, wear some clean clothes in the visions. Like, that made it even worse. Like, this really is gloom and doom.
Yeah, I know. And then we saw Cassie the ghost. You know, she's in all, at least with, I guess, with Ashley's storyline, it was just other parts of herself. Sharon is seeing dead people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
except for Nicholas.
And with Ashley's altars, there was some entertainment value to it because, she had the personality that was like tired of her daughter and was saying, it's me. And then she had the one lady with the little southern accent that was very charming. So, her different personalities actually were kind of funny and entertaining. So everything wasn't so depressing with her altars. But this stuff with Sharon is just dark.
Yeah, it is dark. That's the perfect word for it. Now, Gail Lewis is saying, and I think Bree said this a little bit earlier about people trying to get their Emmy reel in because, like Gail is saying right there, some folks like Sharon Case and Eileen Davidson is probably trying to go for the lead actress nomination, which I honestly think Eileen is going to get a nomination next year. She rocked
Oh,
out.
without a doubt. And we will riot if she don't, because this is an incredible storyline. She really killed at the beginning of the year. So did Melody Thomas.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they're going to go with this. And I mean, if they're making Sharon in this state of mind only to lead into this Lucy storyline that we saw coming up for the week of August 5th, because I mean, and I got a lot to say about Daniel. And I saw Monday's episode, so probably some of you guys saw Monday's episode, and it's like I understand this man has not been really 100% in his daughter's life up until recently, but he cannot be her friend right now.
Absolutely. I highly agree with that. You have to be a protector, especially since she's a teenager.
Right.
This is where you really, really have to put on your daddy bear, your protective gear, and make sure she's protected at all costs because she's going like she's doing right now. She wants to be loose and be loose,
I
and
mean,
wants
and
to party. Wants to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to say that she just wants to be around an older crowd, like some girls like to do. So he really needs to be on daddy mode.
Yeah, we might as well move into him. I mean, unless y'all really got something else on the Sharon storyline, I don't.
We can move.
Okay.
I was gonna say, like, I don't understand how this woman said that she's not taking her medication, and everybody everyone is just like, oh, okay, well, let's help us get through this. Why don't you go on a vacation? And she's like, you know what? I'm going to go by myself. I'm going to deal with my problems on my own. And I welcome all the stuff I'm hallucinating because I can make peace with it. That is not a sane person.
Mm-mm. And I get
That's
it.
all.
And I get it that medications really, especially in the mental health medications, they're altering a lot of the brain waves and the chemistry of the brain. So it can make you feel like a zombie in some cases if it's not balanced. If they changed her meds and they put her on something where she is just walking around lifeless, she can't have any emotion, she's just no feeling, that's understandable. But don't stop taking your medication. Go back and tell your doctor, like, look, this is, I want to go back to my what I was on the old medication. Maybe it's not covered anymore, or they don't make it anymore. Whatever reason they had to change her meds, but they gotta fix it because walking around like a zombie ain't okay either. But also being off the meds ain't okay either. And it looks like she's worse now than remember when she first became bipolar. She was like stealing things and stuff like this. I don't even think it was this bad. before when she
Well,
originally was bipolar. She I didn't was part of her burning down the house part of that too.
yeah, I was about to say burning down the ranch.
Yeah, okay. And then she started being a klepto or something. Remember she was
Yeah, when she was sleeping with Billy
right, she was taking
and
things.
yeah, taking things, sleeping with round. Yeah,
Right.
it's just a little bit like it's hard to. I don't want to say hard to watch, but like I'm just a little upset that her family just won't just really take charge, and they're just letting her just kind of just go about her business and just saying like, oh, okay, well, I guess she's got it. It's fine. Like, we just, call us if you need us. That's what it kind of seems like.
Well, they keep having sidebar conversations with each other and they tiptoeing around Sharon because they're afraid to maybe trigger her or unsettle her. And the bottom, and then they're taking it personally. So Faith was upset that she brought up the conversation about their past, and Mariah is upset because she looks like Cassie and she thinks that she reminds Sharon of Cassie.
Well, duh.
Yeah, I mean,
She should know.
what'd you say, Jay?
I said she thinks she should know. You were her identical twin, of course.
Right,
You're
you
gonna
know.
remind that girl of her. But see, I have a question. Has Sharon's doctor been off screen? Because I'm starting to wonder if we're actually gonna get a reveal that like this doctor is really setting her up somehow.
That would be an interesting twist to kind of put a shocker in this storyline if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? They got to do, because I'm wondering where is this going to go with Sharon? Are they trying to tie this into something going on and going to happen between the Lucy situation? What's the end goal with this storyline? Are you combining two storylines into one, or is this two separate things? You know what I mean? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
because I notice every time she talks about like every time it's brought up that the doctor, had done some alterations to her medicine and all that stuff. It's always in conversations, but we never actually see her visiting her doctor. So that started making me wonder: will we get like some kind of reveal that this doctor actually has a grudge against her, and they're actually setting her up for a failure? Like I don't know if they want to do something where we find out this doctor was actually related to Cameron or something like that. If they want to do something like that, or they
Ooh,
have some kind of gripe. But I just find it kind of funny that we're not seeing her doctor.
Well, you know what? That
right.
would be a good twist. I see Bree is excited about that twist.
Yeah, that would make more sense because like usually, especially with those particular type of medications, you would have to follow up like what every 2 weeks or like at least every month. And she
Hmm.
hasn't mentioned when to go in to see her doctor at all.
Yeah, that's interesting. But she did call the some retreat in what, New Mexico or something that she's trying to go to. Remember that was on yesterday's episode. She was calling, trying to schedule this place where she can go get therapy at a retreat or something that's in Mexico, New Mexico or Arizona or something. So I'm like, okay, so is she leaving the screen again? Because, Sharon had been MIA for a while.
See,
Right.
what would be interesting is was that place recommended to her by her doctor?
I'm trying to think. How did she find out about that? Or did she just come up with that on her own? I'm not sure. I don't remember a doctor recommending it. I think she just brought it up saying that she knew of a place that she could go to get help. So, I don't know. Okay, I see a lot of people talking about microphones. We don't have microphones. We're doing this through my MacBook. And they are coming through my cell phone device. So I don't know, I try to adjust the volume on my cell phone device, but there's not no microphones or anything to turn down. They call in through my phone. So I will try because I see a lot of that in the comment section. I apologize for that, but you know, I've been pretty much doing it the same way like this for the last 5 years. So, I mean, besides being on the phone with them, I usually are through my tablet with them, with J Money and Bree and Keish and Trish and all of them. So, okay,
All right, somebody says sound is fine now.
okay, all right.
I sound okay. It's not too loud.
What do y'all think about Bree's sound? Okay. All right, we'll keep it going. I'll kind of keep an eye out and watch it. I turn down my volume. It helps. Okay. Yeah, we don't have like microphones sitting in front of us like the podcast on some of these shows. So, all right. Okay. Appreciate you guys. Um, let's talk about Lucy and Daniel. Okay, so that's gonna move us to the other storyline because if you have seen the Monday episode, Faith really does not want to hang out with Lucy. She think it's cringy. She calling her pretty much, it looks desperate. And my thing is, if you don't want to hang out with the girl, don't do a pity hangout. At the same time, Daniel, that girl lied to him several times. One thing I know, and I don't know about you guys, when you were kids and you get caught in a lie, you ain't going nowhere. What do y'all think about that?
Well, I guess rich kids move a little different.
Wait a minute, is Daniel rich?
I mean, he has a townhouse in Manhattan. He has a place over in some country, so he got some money on him.
No, I think he sold them places in them other countries, and I'm not sure.
He brought those up to Summer.
Say that again.
He brought those up when he was talking to Summer.
He was
when
joking.
She was asking to help him find a new place.
Oh, he was joking. He was being sarcastic with her.
Oh, okay. Well, they must have something. I mean, either which way, she's doing what I thought she was going to do, which is lie. Like a lot of kids will lie to try to get what they want. She's no different. Well, but I agree with you. Like, you would not be going anywhere.
Right, and that's the thing. That girl don't respect him, and I'm trying to remember. What is the age on Daniel? Is he like
40?
He's 40 on TV 40, not Michael Graziati.
On TV 40, because Mariah, they said that she's 34, 35, because they said that Cassie's storyline was 20 years ago, and Cassie passed away when she was 14. So and I think they said he was like 6 years older.
Okay, so he would be 40. Okay, because it almost looked like the two of them, the way they carry themselves, it looked like he could be Lucy's older brother. It just doesn't look like father to me.
Wait, so Daniel was 20 when the Cassie thing was going down?
I believe so. That's what they're saying. And
I had always thought,
but on the show,
I had always thought he was like maybe 18, 19, and she was 14. But I mean, that's only a year or two's difference, so I guess. But yeah, I didn't think he was quite 20 yet.
Because Lily's 40.
Okay. Because they were the young kids back during that time, that generation that was coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see.
That would line it up with the exact same kind of age difference between Lucy and Faith then, right? Because Faith's in college and Lucy's now 14 or 15. So it's almost an exact carbon copy as far as the age difference.
I agree.
Okay. I'm trying to see. Okay.
But he wants to be her friend a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little passive when it comes to being stern with his daughter.
Okay.
Gina said that he was a senior in high school when the Cassie stuff was going down.
Okay, I got the answer for you. So he was born on screen August 17th, 1993, and then he was Sorard to 1987. So that would put him at 37.
Okay.
Yep. So they
So how
originally,
is he 37? But they said Lily was 40 on the show.
well, that's what they have here in the I guess the soap encyclopedia. Yeah, that originally he was 1993, and then when they aged him up, they gave him, what is that, 6 years, which pushed him to 1987, which would technically make him hold on, I'm like, what is that sound? That's my blinds. That would technically,
That would be like 37, 38.
yeah, 37 this year. Yep, 37. So Lucy, yeah, I mean, I was just curious because they look more like, I don't know. I guess the way their relationship is, he's just way too casual. He don't seem like dad. You know, when you see Nicholas with his daughters, you know, he know how to act like dad. You know what I'm saying? I guess he's just way too relaxed with Lucy to me. What do you think?
Well, he keeps bringing up the fact that he was working on trying to have a better relationship with his daughter. So maybe for him, he wasn't trying to push too hard and try to push her away in the process, which I understand. But at the same time, that's still your daughter, and she doesn't know any better. But it's your job to try to shape her and shift her in the right direction as her father.
Exactly. I agree with that. Cause I mean, and then when Heather finds out all of the lies that she told, she couldn't believe that Daniel even let her go, and he was just like, "Oh well, I mean, yeah." I'm like, dude, really? She was not happy with Daniel after all of the lies she told, which comes out on Monday. But even from this past week, she ditched her father without telling him and saying, and then she lied on two different occasions about how Faith was dying to go with her. I'm like, wow, at some point, somebody got to say something.
I think Daniel acts more like a buddy than a dad because he feels guilty about what he did.
That's
Um,
mm-hmm.
when he kind of pushed her away. So I think he's trying to make up for it, and he's thinking this is the route to do it by being like, the fun dad or the dad that lets her do things. Because I think he wants to try to make up for uh, abandon might be a strong word, but the situation that where he kind of like lost himself and ended up losing. Heather and her in the process. So I think he's trying to make up for that by trying to be a good, fun dad.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
You can still be a good, fun dad, but you also have to be a dad nonetheless and protect your child from themselves because they don't know any better. And it's clear that she wants to act over. He calls it out too. That's the funny part. You call it out and say, like, look, I know you want to be with an older crowd. Why don't you hang out with kids your own age? Clearly, she doesn't want to do that. So you have to be even more stern as a father to make sure she stays away from that older crowd.
yep, I
And the
agree.
fact that he was involved in the situation like this, where he knows what can happen, is really like troubling that he still let her go. Because you should know better than anybody what happens when somebody younger tries to hang out with an older crowd.
Yeah, exactly. So just for her to run ruckshot, tell all these lies, manipulate, tell Faith one thing, tell her dad one thing, and then on Monday telling her mama one thing. I mean, she's just spinning a web of lies. And at the end of the day, she still get to go because her parents are not setting boundaries.
Right. And
And
she's acting her age.
and Faith ain't being honest with herself either. Because if you don't want, you think it's cringe and weird and you're uncomfortable going out with somebody that is 7, 8 years younger than you, I think maybe you need to say, well, I don't think it's a good idea. Because going on a pity outing, well, we'll see what's going to happen next week because then with the whole alcohol thing. But yeah, I mean, these people got to speak up. This girl is just doing whatever she want to do.
If I was Faith, I would just say, you know what, I'm going back to college. I'll see y'all around Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
Too
Oh
much.
man, that's the easy way out. I mean, she can't go back to college
Yeah,
with
you
her.
can't follow me to college.
Yeah, you
That's
can't.
not happening.
Because I'm telling you, listen to the Monday episode when you get a chance to see it. Faith is just not happy about this whole thing with Lucy. So I mean, instead, and I granted she tried to get advice from Sharon, which you know, right now Sharon is not in the right state of mind. So
Like from what I recall, even when Cassie was doing this with Daniel, she wasn't this annoying.
right.
She was just kind of like a cute little charming kid who had a little crush. But this girl Lucy is just absolutely annoying with it.
I just think they could have did better with the Lucy character, unless, like Bree said a couple of weeks ago, maybe they're going to end her character and it comes to something tragic. I don't know. I'm not saying that as a spoiler. That's just something we talked about in conversation on this platform. Um, but I honestly think they should have revisited the whole thing with Johnny, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, because they had a
I
crush
was
on
just
each
about to
other.
say that.
What you
Mm-hmm.
say?
I was just about to say they should have had her storyline where she maybe had a summer little thing, like a little summer crush situation with Johnny. And then, because last time she was there, it looked like Connor and, looks like we lost Bree. It looked like Connor and Johnny both had eyes on her. So they
Mm-hmm.
could have did a little something where she had like a little summer crush with Johnny. We see that Connor's coming back. And then you could have kind of had him feel in some kind of way that Johnny was like, having a little summer thing with her, and you could have made it that you could have made it about that Connor
Mm-hmm.
and Johnny, both was liking Lucy. You could have did something like that instead of having her in this weird kind of like obsessed with Faith storyline.
Exactly. I agree. Yeah, Paris reused storylines. I mean, they've been reusing a lot of different storylines. That's how they brought back Cameron Kirsten. That's how they brought back the thing with Eve Howard and Claire. They brought back a lot of different storylines to either add a different layer to it or just to replay it out. And it's like, that's lazy writing at this point. Now, it'll be different, like if they maybe pushed it forward a generation, which they kind of did with Claire, because Claire is, the child that got lost, but they're still not doing anything with her either.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the Claire, and we kind of briefly touched on this on Wednesday, Jay, before the system went down. And there's a picture of Claire on the screen. I mean, she came to town as this businesswoman who was flirting with Nate at the elevator. She had this look of determination, and of course, she was trying to take down the Newmans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, what now? Almost a year, because I think she came in the late summer of last year. Fast forward almost a year, and what happens? I mean, she, meaning Claire, they look like they aged her backwards. So they got her in this like childlike state.
Yes. Like she kind of looks like those dolls that almost have like kind of like American Girl dolls with the little striped collared shirts, and she kind of
Talking about Lucy.
No,
no
Claire.
Claire, the way they have her dressed now. She was talking about how they have her dressed down now. You're exactly right. Like when she made her debut, and she was in the corporate world, like that girl that was kind of like flirtatiously talking to Nate and all that stuff. You saw like you at least saw a grownness to her, right? And even though now, her goal, like back then, she obviously had evil goals and evil intent. but you didn't have to take away her adultness just because she doesn't have evil intents anymore. You know what I mean? Like, she still had a maturity to her. What they took that away when they took like her little, her little revenge dark side away. You didn't have to take away her grownness with it. She could have still been grown, but now they have her acting like, dressing and seeming like a little kid. Like, she seems like a teenager with this babysitting job as opposed to a grown woman. You know what I mean? So they definitely do have her acting and looking younger.
What you say, Bree?
What I was saying on Wednesday was like, she can't be taking care of a child and acting like a child. It just doesn't make any sense. And she was so upset about not being able to ride ponies and not being able to do the things that Harrison wanted to do as a kid. And I'm like, you're grown. Go hop on a plane. Your family is rich. Go about your business. And she needs to stop wearing hope for the future. It is not a good look on her. It's not flattering on her at all. But why is she a grown 1 minute, regressed to a child 1 minute, and we saw a couple of episodes where she was dressing like her age, and then she's back to dressing like a Girl Scout again.
And see, they've even took this de-aging thing to the point where she doesn't even drink alcohol. And I'm wondering now, was there, because I can't remember, but when she first got there, I'm trying to figure, were there any scenes where she drank alcohol, and like that's just something they decided to change, because you know what I mean? She didn't strike me as that type when she first got there. So now I'm trying to remember, were there any scenes where we actually did see her drink and they expect us to forget?
Yeah, the other
wasn't it?
Because in the business settings, they always have kind of like, business meetings and celebrations when they close the deals, and like champagne and stuff. And I can't remember, but I would not be surprised if they actually did have her drink something before, but we like just conveniently forgot, because that's not a big deal.
I was gonna say Jack's wedding when she was drinking champagne. And that was last year, but also at the same time, she was asking Nate to go out for a drink.
Yeah, and then the other thing is that not only are the writers put in this position, but the other characters around her are treating her like a child. And you kind of touched on that on Wednesday, where Victoria is worried sick, and she got mad at Summer, and I'm going to call Summer and tell her about it. I'm like, this girl is almost 30 years old. She's almost 30. Eve Howard, baby Eve, was born in November of 1998. Now, unless they soared her back to after the 2000s, the girl will be 26. So, I mean, they need to put her... I understand she missed out on her childhood. And, well, technically she had one, but she was sheltered and manipulated. But this girl is also the same girl that she did mention. She did go off to college. So it's not like she was locked up in the basement like Victor did with the Brussels sprouts and Jordan for 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
I'm surprised they didn't write that Jordan made her go to college online and kept her butt in the house.
She probably did, for all we know. I mean, she said she had a bachelor's degree.
Exactly.
So how is it Summer is acting more of an adult than she is, and Claire is technically supposed to be older than Summer?
Exactly. Yep.
See, even in that picture that you got up on the bottom right, she looks like she just got out of like Catholic school. Like she just it's her mommy brought her to work. Like, bring your kid to work day. Looks like, and look how she even has her hands behind her back like a kid would do. Like,
she looks like she's about to sell some Girl Scout cookies.
Don't she? Because I don't know if those are pants or not, but it's like plaid.
That's a skirt.
Like almost like a Catholic schoolgirl bottom. And you know what I mean? Blue top, plaid bottom. Like, she literally looks like a kid.
And she had a backpack on in that episode.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she had a backpack on. That's why I pulled that. I pulled that particular clip on Wednesday because that was either Tuesday or Wednesday episode. And when I saw her come up in that office dressed like that, and she had a brown backpack on her back, I'm like, did this girl just come from private school?
That's right. She keeps the things that she has for Harrison in a backpack, right?
I don't know if that was her bag, her purse, because I mean, there are some stylish, hey, Louis Vuitton make backpacks. But that backpack that she had on, she looked like she was coming from school.
I would have came in the office like, yo, is your daughter okay? Does she know what year it is?
Right.
Does she think this is 1999?
She looked like when she went to Victoria, she's about to tell her mom, like, I sold all the cookies today. I might get my badge today.
Oh my God. Well, remember that they did have a conversation over at Society, and Cole was like, why don't you take a step back from the whole Kyle and Summer mess and go back to school and get your early childhood education degree? Um, I think maybe she probably should. Maybe she should go live on campus so she can actually get some life experience the way y'all describe it. Or y'all gonna take her to school too? Y'all gonna drop off and pick her up too?
Lucy should be trying to be her friend because they seem like they the same age.
Exactly.
Why she trying to hang out with Faith? Go hang out with Claire.
Yep.
It seems like Lucy wants to be grown and Claire wants to be a child.
They need to swap bodies like Freaky Friday since they acting, she acting Claire age and Claire acting hers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that whole outfit, it got me. I'm like, y'all got to be kidding me. Why y'all dressing this girl like that? And Haley Aaron is a good actor. She came on before she was Abby. She's acted in other TV other things.
Kiki on GH. I love her on GH.
Right. Just put her back where she was. Give her a job at Newman. At this point, even if she's not Harrison's nanny, I wouldn't mind even seeing her. Let her work over at Newman and do something crazy. Turn on the Newmans or something. I don't know. Give this girl some type of energy or edge because right now she is absolutely boring. The character.
Hell, Devon's gonna need people right now that Hamilton Winters is separated, and he gonna need people at his company. Go apply for a job over there.
He needs adult.
Oh, the other thing you were saying, Bree, on Wednesday is about the fact with them putting her with Kyle. It makes her look like because Kyle is definitely around 30. And what did you were saying on Wednesday that with her dressing like and carrying herself, she looks like a young girl compared to trying to be with him.
Yeah, the fact that this man knows that she is inexperienced in a lot of things. He's been married, divorced, had affairs, went through all this stuff himself. His years of experience just with life is light years in comparison to her, who is just excited about tasting Brussels sprouts for the first time. It just doesn't match up. I can't see why they want to put her with Kyle all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If she gets with Kyle, I think she definitely would call him daddy. Like she seemed like she got that.
Stop it, Jay.
Ew.
Ew. I mean, they put the girl hair back up, put her in a business suit like when she came on. When she was, applying for a job to be at Newman Media. Bring that Claire back.
And that Claire would be perfect for Kyle.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I wouldn't mind if they ended up putting those two together and just say put her back to where she was and let them team up to work on that side when it comes to this whole custody battle. She definitely can play. She's manipulative. We've seen that. That whole conversation that she had with Katie, trying to ask her, well, what should I ask Mom to get her off my back? She know what to say. She was just manipulating Katie to look like she's Team Katie.
Mm-hmm.
That girl is manipulative. And I mean, she hasn't used it to a level of destruction, but she ain't stupid.
Jasmine Williams said Claire would call him daddy and mean it. Yup.
Oh my God, y'all crazy. Oh man. Okay. Moving on. Unless y'all got something else on that, let's talk about Adam, Sally, Billy, and Chelsea. Because,
Lord.
yeah, exactly. First of all, Billy is suspicious. Now, here's my thing with Billy and Sally, and it might be an unpopular opinion, but I mean, sometimes, and I think Bree, not only myself, but you've said this before too, how you start is how you end. And both Billy and Sally started these relationships kind of not on a good foundation. I'll just say that. Do you guys agree?
I highly agree. That's why I don't feel bad for none of them.
Nope.
More so with Billy and Chelsea than Adam and Sally.
Really?
For me. Yeah, because with the whole Adam and Sally thing, they were in a relationship, then they were broken up, and yeah, it was kind of messed up that she was involved with his brother, but like she did like make a choice. She did end up choosing Adam and leaving Nick. So that, when they got back together, it wasn't under like any kind of like cheating or anything like that. With Billy and Chelsea, he was involved with Lily when he started kind of developing those feelings for Chelsea. So that one to me was a little bit more skeevy than Adam and Sally reuniting.
What do you think about Adam and Sally, Bree? Based on what Jay said, do you think? Because you said that you don't feel sorry for Sally.
None of them. I don't feel sorry for Sally. She was happy having a one man's baby and getting screwed by the brother at the same time. Like she had no qualms, and then waited till like what, the 11th hour after Adam did all that begging to try to take that man back. And I think she was going back and forth between Nick and Adam after they lost the baby too.
Yep.
Like I don't feel sorry for Sally at all. She had fun playing ping pong with both brothers.
Yeah, and while she had Adam's baby in her, she didn't mind Nicholas poking her at the same time. So, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that's why I kind of like, I don't know why y'all, especially, and then like going back to what Jay was saying with Billy. Really, Billy? I mean, Lily, this is, Lily, obviously, she got cheated on by Daniel, but the cheating before Daniel was him.
She forever gets cheated on. Jane cheated on her, got a baby out of it. and then after she got out of prison, she got with Billy. He cheated on her, and then Daniel cheated on her.
And you notice what all three of those guys have in common?
What's that?
I think y'all know.
Oh.
Lily needs to try a new flavor. I'll just say that.
Oh, let's not go there.
Lily needs to try a new flavor. Because vanilla just isn't quite working for her.
Okay. Anyway, Chelsea didn't get the memo. And so when they sat at that table and and they were talking about the fact how he lashed out. Yeah, and so Chelsea was sitting up there looking like, what are you talking about? She played along with it, but this barely. Is what I said. Yeah, barely. This is what I said a couple weeks ago. I said, this could have went two ways. Now, it didn't blow up this time, but I thought it was going to, because of the fact that if Billy had went separately to Chelsea and say, hey, Adam told me everything. I wanted to punch him in the face, which he did say that, but it was about the lashing out. She could have easily said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to happen. We just slipped up and we ended up in bed together. And he'd be like, wait, what? But I guess the way that they wrote this out, they wanted to extend it because they could have definitely went that route and blew that whole thing sky high.
And this is why I keep saying Chelsea now is so unstable, because when she first came on to the scenes of YNR, she was Victor's favorite. What's the word I'm looking for? She she was a schemer, a scammer. She was a scam artist. All she knew how to do was lie and play her role. And like all of a sudden now that it's like she forgot that that's how she came into everybody's life, including Billy's, especially Billy's. So you cannot just pick up on the signals from Adam for as long as you've been with that man and been around that man, and you guys know you have a lie you guys are trying to keep up. It looks like this woman is about to break at any moment by like just a thought of like somebody finding out. Keep your story together. Actually look like you can hold it together. That's why Billy had to go and above and beyond to try to question her, because she can't keep it together. And you're a whole former scam artist.
Yeah, you would think she would know what to do. But I guess she's reformed and lost all that scamming skill that she can't keep a secret. But here's the thing. A lot of people are speculating by Chelsea and Adam having that conversation in the car. They were just telling it all in that car. People are thinking about the driver. Now, I think I just saw somebody, Belinda says she see a blackmail plot on the horizon because the limo driver heard everything about Adam and Chelsea.
And it's your own fault.
Yeah. See, I don't know if you saw, I had came up with that idea too, because I had wrote it in our little chat. I said she was just blurting all the information out in that ride share. And the way the camera, like, because I try to like look at every little detail, and even the way the camera just kind of like, usually they don't even bother to show the driver's face, but they kind of like showed the lower half of the driver's face. It seemed like it was a female, and then just the way they had her, because Adam was kind of like being quiet for the most of it, but then he had to respond, and just her blurting all that information out. I said, I got a funny feeling this is going to come back to haunt them. Like this driver, because they're pretty, Adam's pretty well known. His face has been all over, a city for whenever he's been arrested or whenever they had press conferences or news about business. So I wouldn't be surprised if that driver knew who he was, and Chelsea for that matter. And maybe this gets back to Billy somehow, because it just seemed kind of weird that they put her in that situation where she was just blurting all of that information out like that.
Well,
I agree.
Cece said in the comment, Josh Griffith ain't that creative.
Exactly. There's only 12, 14 people in Genoa City, and there's no cops, no doctors, no nothing. So there's only a few amount of people who would know who Adam Newman is. So they put themselves in this stupid freaking predicament. And once again, it was Chelsea blurting all this stuff out and not keeping it together, just freaking out. Like, so, I don't know. They deserve exactly what's going to come get to them. I just hate that their child is probably going to suffer from this.
I'm glad Connor is finally coming home, though, which hopefully will mark the end of that mental health awareness storyline.
He should have been home.
Yeah. Yep. But they kept that boy up there so they can cheat. And then as soon as the cheating happened, then Connor did better. So I don't know, girl. But
you don't think they're gonna have Chelsea end up pregnant, do you?
Anything is possible.
I hope not. I really hope not. Because that would be so insulting. Now, that part I would feel sad for Sally, especially after losing her daughter with Adam.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah, that'd be rough on her. Wow, yeah. That would be rough. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, if he ended up getting Chelsea pregnant after they lost a kid and it's a cheating situation,
yeah,
that'll be rough.
That would be super messy, which means they probably are going to do it.
Yeah. Yep, that would be very soapy. A couple of things that are not on the screen is because we definitely got to tackle Jack and Kyle and Summer. Oh God. Um, Lily and well, the whole situation between Victor and Billy and Devon. And the moment that Victor called him into that office, and I thought it was a warning or whatever, but he's using Devon as a pawn. But that's what he get. He want to sign up to be legally attached in marriage to that family. Victor is already calling in favors, and they haven't even planned the wedding yet.
Well, he's going to do whatever he can for Mr. Newman.
Uh,
I'm so sick of him saying that.
You know how I hate that.
I'm like, you're a man. Like, this is Victor. Call him Victor, like everyone else. Even Kyle calls him Victor. He never calls him Mr. Victor or Mr. Newman.
Mm-hmm. If they just gonna have him keep calling him Mr. Newman, he might as well say it like it look. He might as well come in, Mr. Newman, what can I do for you?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't please don't. Yeah, he always calling him Mr. Newman. And it's just like, okay. But Devon did exactly what Victor expected. He went and passed the message. And passed it.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll be the eventual downfall of him and Abby? He'll eventually get tired of doing stuff like that.
Oh, of course. Look at everybody else. Nate was married, was with Abby way before Devon.
Yeah, that's how they ended.
What'd you say?
I don't think so.
That's how him and Abby ended, because he didn't want to do kind of like exactly what he had Devon do. Nate was tired of doing stuff like that, covering up and lies and secrets, and that was what broke him and Abby up.
Yep. What was you going to say, Bruce?
It's always Abby's men that ends up giving up because of their involvement with Victor. They quit the marriage. They quit everything. Well, Chance, he quit his wife because she cheated on him with Devon. But I think because Devon has made it a big deal, like he finally has a brother. He finally has a father figure he can look up to, which is wow. But I think he would go above and beyond. I think with Devon, he's going to have a misstep with Victor, and then he's going to be one of Victor's enemies, or he's going to get the real wrath of screwing up with Victor. And I think he won't have a way to make that up, and Abby's going to be like, look, you can't do this with my family. Well, you should have followed my dad's orders.
So one of the things I heard Victor keep saying is that he's trying to protect Neil's legacy, which of course is Lily and Devon. Do you think he would stand firm on that at all costs? I doubt it. He can't even do that with his own kids.
Nope. Mm-mm.
If Victor had to do something to take out Hamilton Winters in order to keep Newman up, he would do it in a heartbeat.
Yep. So all that talk about, I respected Neil and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, let worst come to worst. We'll see what you decide to do, Mr. Newman.
Oh, absolutely. And he was already asking to see where Lily's loyalty lies. So you're more concerned about her loyalty versus, like he was saying to Billy, trying to protect the legacy for Neil's kids. But you still are on the fence about where Lily's loyalties lie. And if it doesn't lie with you, then what?
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask y'all this. What do you think about Lily saying how she's actually still playing Billy?
It's all wasted effort. Because she can be working right up underneath Nikki. But, like, once again, she's just an employee. She has no stake whatsoever in Chancellor. Like, nothing. If anything, Billy had a little bit more stake over in Chancellor than she does. Play what and play who?
Exactly. How? Exactly. You know, she's talking about, see, I'm one step ahead of Victor Newman. Yeah, okay, Lily. Good luck with that. Because again, she's an employee. It's not like she owns 51% of the company or something. You
Yeah,
in a
like even
position that you can get fired from.
hmm
Billy is her boss. So I don't
yeah,
know what she thinks she can do to play Billy out of something when he has Jill's power.
And what is she really going to do when she finds out that Nikki is her new boss?
Ex-
Because Victor's not going to have her think that she's going to get one up over on his wife, and let
ex-
alone him.
and let alone exactly. So you know what? While she's talking about, I worked so hard to be here. Okay, and you still an
A lot of
employee.
people.
Go ahead.
Exactly. A lot of people work at companies so hard for so long and get fired right before retirement. Unfortunately, it's just how some companies are, how some people are.
Yep, it's actually happening in my company right now. We did a send off for one of our directors that had been there for like 30 years, and she got the memo a month ago that they're ending her position because they're doing a reorganizational structure of the region. They don't care about you, an employee. It's the same thing with Lily. They could walk her out the door tomorrow, and all the work and efforts and whatever she put into Chancellor, okay, you got paid for it. They're gonna be like, well, you got compensated, so you worked, you got paid.
Yep. And she has a better chance of at least working with her brother, and he's not going to just take her job away unless she screws that up. But she already says she doesn't trust her brother, and they already have like this weird rift as it is. But he's still trying to save Lily. He's forever trying to save Lily.
Mm-hmm. So, if she want to stay over there and go down with the Titanic, then that's maybe she would have to do that. I mean, now, Billy is trying to do, and I think somebody said this earlier in the chat, talking about let's get this party started. What's the plan, Billy? We ain't heard nothing. Now, we heard a few things of what Victor's trying to do. Billy is just, what we doing? What's the plan?
All he did was work on a logo and a letterhead, and he's asking for everybody's approval. He did it himself. He used Microsoft Word, and he's so happy that he did it himself, and he wants to celebrate.
What you think, Jay?
I think Bree hit it right on the head. Um, but man, Microsoft Word, he didn't even use Photoshop. You can't even give him that.
Oh,
She said Microsoft Word.
yes, she
But
did.
all he did was just he used two letters. He changed the size of it, and then he put what added Chancellor at the bottom. It don't take that much. He used Microsoft Word for it. I don't expect for keep in mind this is a temp employee. I'm surprised he even used Microsoft Word
He drew
and know how to use a
it on an
computer at that.
He drew it on an Etch a Sketch first, and then with the,
He
and
said
then
an
put it on
Etch-a-Sketch.
Oh my
I haven't
goodness.
seen one of them in years. Oh my God, an Etch-a-Sketch. You funny, Jay.
That used to be the toy back in the day. Everybody had one of those.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, Billy ain't. What you gonna do? What you gonna come up with? And even Chance doubts him. Chance even said to him, like, when he said this is in best interest of the company, and said for whose interest? Yours?
Yeah, that was surprised. Well, yeah, it actually is kind of surprising because I thought he was for the Chancellor side and trying to help protect his grandmother, and so he was going along with Billy. I guess because he was kind of promising him like a certain position or like COO or something like that at one point. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. We barely see Chance.
Please.
If
Mm-hmm.
the writers are listening, write in chants. But I I was surprised that he at the beginning of the episode he was looking at the logo that Billy did. And he was still trying to get approval. He's like, well, you just did a logo. Like, what is your plan? Like, so you're doing all of this for what's the end goal? Like, he was asking legitimate questions, and Billy got in his feelings.
Yes, he did. That's what I'm saying. What's the plan? He doesn't have one. He really don't. But I will say Chance got up out of there when he seen both of him and Lily going up against each other for a hot second. So where did Chance go? He decided to be a simp for Summer, because we got to talk about Summer. Her brother Daniel gave her, now that advice that he gave his sister, he need to take that same energy with his daughter, because
Why? They both not going to listen to him.
yeah, but at least he was hard. He tried. Well, I ain't gonna say that, because as soon as Summer get into her feelings and think that people are against her, then they back down. And it's like somebody got to put their foot down with this girl and tell her the truth, whether she want to hear it or not. Because I got to give it to Daniel. He told her, like, look, I don't think this is a good idea. You about to start an Abbott Newman war with Harrison right smack dab in the middle of it. And she was like, whose side are you on? I'm like, he's like on the side of the truth. And she didn't want to hear it. She'd rather stay in Delulu Island, because she want what she want. And anybody that says otherwise, she think that they're against her.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Jay.
No, I was just agreeing with that comment. Go ahead.
I was going to say, she was quick to say, like, look, I can get my granddaddy on this, which I knew. I said this weeks ago. She's going to get Victor involved so she can make sure she has her way. So she's on the Lulu Island, but Victor's going to get her off that island, and she's going to have full custody or sole custody of Harrison. However, he's going to finagle it. Because the fact that she even was able to get temporarily stop Kyle from taking Harrison out the country, it won't be much for her to get that custody now, especially since she said she's going to get her granddaddy involved, and she doesn't even know that her granddaddy's already in a war with the Abbotts. It's going to take Victor next to nothing to do this for his granddaughter.
Well, I mean, you about to say something, Jay?
Just to counteract what Bree said, even with Victor's power, Bree, I still, when it comes to family court and all of this stuff, and Kyle is that boy's biological father, I don't even think Victor is gonna be able to like get full custody for Summer. I'm gonna be honest with you.
What?
Yeah, because it's just certain situations like Victor really, Summer doesn't really have. It's not like they're married or, anything like that. So she really has no legal ties to this boy. Like Kyle has allowed her to keep being this boy mother because he did see her as his mother. But if she really wants to take this boy to court and fight over this, Kyle still has all of the cards. Even because Victor, there's even with all of his power, what can he really do? Kyle is this boy's father, and it's not like he's going up against some scrubs. They have, some power too, and he has biology on his side. So I don't think Victor can get full custody for Summer in this situation. I don't know how you feel about that, T.
Well, the thing is that well, all that and listening, because a lot of people have been researching this thing, because there is no custody. It was visitation. And she had a visitation schedule. And that was even mentioned on Wednesday or Thursday's episode, that she had visitation. That they had a visit. Yeah, that they had a visitation schedule. Her getting sole custody, she has, anytime somebody gets sole custody, there's got to be some major reason, like neglect, abuse. The person got to be pretty much out of it, can't take care of the child at all. something. And the only reason that she was able to stop this whole situation with Harrison going out of town was not because she got any legal rights to the boy. It's because there's a case pending and he can't leave. Not because Kyle did anything wrong or she has more say so over Harrison or anything. The judge just made it that, hey, since there's a case pending, we don't know if it have merit or not. We won't let the child go out of the country because we haven't actually gotten to the point of actually seeing, going through the whole process. It was a loophole. That's what her attorney found, and what she was able to find a judge to grant. Hey, since there's a pending court case, we haven't went to trial, and we really don't want the kid to leave the country. Oh, okay. Well, since there's a case pending, he won't go. That's all that was. She didn't have any power to actually make that happen. It was a loophole that her attorney found. So honestly, I don't even know. All she's doing this is because Phyllis is gassing her up. She's doing it again on Monday. And then
Yeah.
and then when she had a little bit of a glimmer of trying to give advice to Summer, and Summer went right back on that. Oh my God, you're not on my side. I thought you listened to me, but you're on Daniel's side. And what did Phyllis do? She went right back to saying what she was saying, gassing her up. Even hung up the phone on Kyle. Kyle calling
Oh
in to say good.
yeah.
Yeah, Phyllis call. I mean, Kyle calling his son to say good night, and yeah, Phyllis hung up the phone.
Mm-mm.
And you guys don't. Okay. Phyllis is trying to make up for the stuff that she was doing to her daughter and her son last year. So I understand her trying to kiss up to her daughter. But you honestly think Victor wouldn't find any sort of way to make sure a Newman would win over an Abbott, regardless of what it is?
What would Victor come up with? Except, I mean, I'm trying to figure out. What could he use if he was to tell the judge, unless it's something totally unrelated to Kyle, and maybe somebody just a judge owe Victor something, and he call it in.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Deacon was able to get Sheila out from all her charges. So, and Victor has way more power than Deacon ever has. And plus, not to mention all the crimes that Victor has gotten away with over the years. This would be next to nothing for him, especially if his granddaughter comes in crying, saying, like, I want to be in my child's life. Like, I'm going up against the Abbotts, whatever the case is. He's going to ensure that she gets the win, because he is all about winning against the Abbotts.
Well, I did see the spoiler for August 9th. I mean, and that's next Thursday or Friday. Victor is, and unfortunately, Jay, according to that spoiler, Victor is going to pull a few strings for Summer. So I'm curious to find out what that means, what that's going to look like. And I know Kyle is probably going to regret the day he ever did this, if that's the case. If he's actually going to help Summer get full custody of that kid, he's going to be in a bad place.
Yeah, he is, especially for working for Victor now, too. And he can't go back to Jabot after being fired and going off on his parents.
Well, I think they want him to come back. They're hoping he come to his senses. I honestly believe that soft-hearted Jack will eventually take his son back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If Jack sees that Victor had anything to do with Kyle losing custody, he would welcome Kyle back with open arms and try to help him take Victor down.
Yep. Because that's his grandson. So, I mean, even though that's his biological grandson, so I know Jack might be pissed at Kyle, but Harrison? Oh, no. He ain't going to let that slide.
And
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I can see the whole Victor pulling strings. That doesn't necessarily mean like that gets Summer custody. It could just be him like trying to, set her up with certain lawyers, or like y'all said, trying to talk to certain judges. But see, like you talked about, if Deacon could get Sheila off, well, you have to look at it from Kyle's side too. Like I said, everybody knows Victor is almighty and all that stuff, but the Jabot name has some sway and some power too. And if Deacon can do what he did for Sheila, who's to say Kyle doesn't go do something to get Tara out? And then that's the ultimate trump card, because she never gave up her parental rights.
That is
So if he
correct.
goes and finds a way to get Tara out, it ain't nothing Summer gonna be able to do against both parents.
That's
So
the other thing. That's going to make this storyline trash because in order to give her sole custody, Tara has to. If we were going on how this is supposed to go in the real world, Tara would have to sign away her rights to her as well. So the judge would have to say, okay, where's the biological mom? Okay, she's in prison, but just because you're in prison, your rights to your child don't go away unless it's removed purposely at the time of whatever. But I don't even ever seen that because people be bringing their kids to the prison to see inmates or their fathers or mothers or whatever. So Tara would have to sign off on that too because she hasn't signed away her rights.
yeah, and that's why I say it's not going to be as powerful as Victor is. It's not going to be as easy as him just being Victor Newman and getting it done, because even he can't circumvent that. That's why I said it's family court. Even he can't circumvent that. Like, Tara is still legally that boy's mother, and she still has all of her rights. And then Kyle is the biological father. So that's a lot to try to overcome. You know what I mean? I don't see him overcoming that.
And that would make a good twist if Tara did show up at the courthouse. I mean, the thing is that she didn't get a lifetime sentence. She didn't go to jail for, the M word or attempted M,
Yeah,
right?
and you see people get it.
Or
You see
grand,
people get released early on that all the time. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
yeah, or grand theft auto or something like that. She's in there for stealing money from her own company. I think that's a low level form of embezzlement or something. But she stole money from her own company, and it was all because Lauren, Phyllis, and Nicholas wasn't happy about it, so they decided to snitch. But it's not. It should be some years, but not like decades of being in prison. So if they want to get her out, I would say if you listen to this podcast, writers, get her out. Make it interesting.
They can easily have it that Kyle was thinking two steps ahead of Summer, and he realized, you know what, maybe it's about time Tara had an appeal. And and he put the works into that while Summer was, being a busybody and doing what she was doing. And then, like you said, they could have Tara show up at the perfect time. So that they could easily write that in, that he was working behind the scenes to get Tara an appeal and to get her out of there.
Yeah, because I mean, oh, go ahead, Bree. Go ahead.
I was going to say, y'all are underestimating Victor and his power. This is the same man who had a whole prison within his own house. The crimes that this man has gotten away with, getting people in and out of prison, he could still manipulate what's going on with Tara too, to where where she would have to go ahead and sign off on her rights and give that to Summer too. That could also happen.
Yeah,
I see someone in the comments saying something similar to that. I don't think that's going to happen. One thing about Tara, she loved her son. That girl loved her boy. She's not going to you're not going to threaten her or scare her into signing her rights away.
This is Victor. Victor gonna have his way. I mean, you see, Nikki. He got Nikki to stop talking about Newman Media for a moment. He's gonna up and play Monopoly and get a whole other company so she can shut up. This is Victor.
Yeah, but that's still a mother that loves her son. And if he even verbally tries to say something to her, like in a threatening way, she could easily have a cell phone and be recording him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of ways. Like, I just don't see that happening. She's not going to sign away her rights to her son. She loves that boy.
I would just, for the
Mm,
soapy drama, just bring her back for fun. Let her show up at the court. Honestly, as much as Victor, whatever these strings that he's going to pull, is going to be interesting to see what that looks like and what it means. But technically, she don't have a ground to stand on. The girl is in her feelings about the fact that he's working with Audra, even though they think he's sleeping with Audra. I mean, it's all in her head. And the fact that
and
she's still low level don't like Claire.
it's all in the genetics too, because her grandfather's forever in his feelings, and we see what he's trying to do to Jack after trying to save Nikki.
Yeah, that whole thing
This
is
is
crazy.
so he's, if anything, he'll be very understanding with that. But I honestly feel it's going to go in Summer's favor, because that's what a lot of people don't want. So they're going to do the very thing that people don't want.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of pulling the father out of a kid's life. That just don't sit well with me, but that's just me. I mean, figure it out. Or, I mean, or at least if, throw something in there. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of her trying to take this boy away from his father for what?
Mm-hmm. Also, T, in these kind of situations, they want you to prove or show some kind of history of, why a child shouldn't be in a particular person's life. Couldn't Kyle also bring up the whole situation with Phyllis?
I mean, he
And
could.
say he doesn't want his child, if she was to have full custody, his child will be around that woman full time. And all he has to do is bring up that woman's history. Like, because when you go to family court, you get to bring up all of that stuff. Like, what would be the surroundings of the child? So
Well,
Phyllis's background could potentially hurt Summer's case.
Well, that kind of, because there's a spoiler also next week where Phyllis is going to be poking the bear with Diane. So I'm wondering, because Phyllis is working hard to have all these different pieces on Summer's side, including on Monday, because she's low-key manipulating Harrison on Monday. So, and you'll see what I'm talking about, which is, I'm just like, this is insane. But if she's got the same idea like you just talking about and she provokes Diane, she's probably going to try to get that on camera and say, hey, even the grandmother is crazy and she had faked her death for 15 years or whatever. So I honestly believe Phyllis is also going to be doing some manipulations to help her daughter, because it starts on Monday with Summer, or what Phyllis is doing.
And I would also say that Summer can say the same thing about Kyle as well, for doing the crimes that he did for his own mother, him and Jack too. And I think Victor also knows about that jewelry that Jack sold from Nikki too, that never came into play, but that could also come into play as well. So neither side has one up over on the other, except for Kyle with the DNA, but at the same time, she got Victor on her side, and he's going to do whatever he can to make sure the Newmans get a win. It's not going to be easy for Kyle. And like V. Carter was saying earlier, that Victor can blackmail this man and say, like, look, you either want your job at Glissade or you can split that time up for custody with Summer. Something's going to happen to where he's going to threaten Kyle, or he's going to really, really push the buttons over in court for Summer.
Well, Bree, what I would say in response to that is, yeah, she can, and I knew that would be said. Yeah, they can try to come on the other side and bring up Diane, but what Kyle can do that Summer can is, Kyle is not getting along with his parents right now, so he can easily say in court he's estranged from them right now, and his son won't be around Diane. Summer's not going to say that about Phyllis, so you've got that, because it's about who the child is going to be around. If Kyle shows the courts he's not going to have, if they bring up any questions about Diane and her past, he can easily attest that he won't have his son around Diane. Summer won't say that under this. She won't say that she'll keep Phyllis away from Harrison. And then if Victor comes up with that proposal or that ultimatum to Kyle, Kyle's not going to choose the job over his son. Like, you know what I mean? He's going to toss Glissade to the side if Victor tries to put him in that position. And if Victor's trying to help Summer take full custody from Kyle, Kyle was going to leave Glissade anyway. I don't see Kyle trying to still work at Glissade if he knows Victor is trying to help Summer take his child away.
Yeah, I think
So
he picked the
that would
kid.
really mean nothing.
Yeah, I think he picked that kid over his job.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we still got this whole conversation between Jack and Kyle over at the GCAC. That whole argument was insane. My thing is, Jack was originally trying to take the high road, and Kyle kept throwing darts, and then Jack just let him have it. I mean, they got to that table, and Kyle, I guess he needed to get the last word, and then Kyle was like calling Jabot an old dinosaur that needed to be extinct,
Mm-hmm.
and everything else.
Yeah, he came back for that last word, didn't he? He said, "You know what? No, let me get this last word in. I'm not going to go out like that."
Yeah, that was a funny conversation in that car on the way out too with Audra, because Audra was like, "Why are you trying to be so hard? You trying to stick it to your dad?" And he was like you tried to stick it to Tucker, which he was right. I was like, "Oh,
Yep. I'm like, okay, Kyle, you get one, but Jack really got into it. He was like, look, you and your little company, you can do your worst. We've been a long-standing company since your grandfather had helped build this company. We've had nothing but patent success, all this, and this. You can try your worst since you want to be so ungrateful, brat." I was like, ooh, okay.
yeah."
I lost it when he,
Hey,
I lost it when he
Keish.
told him,
Jeez.
"Hi, y'all. Hi."
Hey.
I lost it when he said you've been sniffing too much of that cheap cologne or aftershave.
Aftershave.
You ready, Keish, or you still need some time?
Oh, I'm still packing, but I'll mute when I'm making too much noise.
Oh, okay. Oh man, but yeah, I was like, Audra, you need to shut up, because you could have had that company free and clear. But no, you had to stick it to Tucker to prove that you could beat him. And in the end, you end up working for Victor, and he walked away with a wad of cash. But anyway. Y'all got anything?
Just be a smart businesswoman.
Right. Did we cover everything for the Young and the Restless?
I think so.
I think so. There really wasn't a whole lot that went off.
Keish, do you want to throw in a couple things that stuck out to you before we switch the bowl?
The only thing I'll say is I don't like the way they're making Sharon's mental health crisis about Nick.
Okay.
Like, that's what I feel. I feel like they're making it somewhat about Nick and her I guess wanting to be with Nick again. I don't like that.
Okay. Was that pretty much the only thing you had for this week?
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about anything else.
Okay.
I'm disappointed in Summer and what they're doing with her right now and the war path that she's on over this whole custody thing, but it's whatever, I guess.
Okay.
Doing my girl dirty.
And they gave us that half-baked, I just say half-baked. They gave us that half-baked love scene where they laid in the bed. Next thing we know, she was sitting up in there with the bra and his chest open. That was it.
Right. We ain't seen Summer and Chance together in how long, and that's all we got.
Yeah, that was a weak sauce. That was almost as bad as Sharon and Chance in that little coffee room. Well, that was not good.
Yeah, I guess. It's just like, y'all could have gave us. We've been looking for some more hot scenes from both shows, and that's what you give us. Thanks, but no thanks.
After that, I was ready for Chance and Lily.
They should have went with that.
Go ahead and split these two up.
Right. You know, we were waiting.
They still could.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't gonna give them nothing either. They're literally not giving anybody any love scenes. It don't matter who they put Chance with.
Well, Adam and Chelsea, I guess, are the ones who are getting it in.
That's wild because the Adam and Chelsea scene, I know y'all probably don't agree, but the Adam and Chelsea scene was hotter than most of any other love scenes we've gotten recently. and
I
that was grief.
guess.
That was a grief love scene, and it was definitely harder than Summer and Chance, and harder than anything else that I can recall that they've had on the show lately.
Mm.
I don't even think we can call Summer and Chance's scene a love scene. Like they kissed for like 0.5 seconds before they went to commercial.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They literally
That was an
gave
interlude.
us nothing. Yeah,
It was an interlude.
Well, we did get a brief little quip of Nate and Audra. Remember? But they where he took off his shirt and laid her down on the bed, and then they did a little kissing, and then that's all we got. And then we didn't even see them come back the following week.
Yeah, we didn't even get like a morning after scene, right? They was in their business clothes at the table.
Right.
And she didn't care whatsoever. He was like, well, we stayed in bed and we cuddled and watched the sunrise. And he was like, oh, yeah, that was nice. Oh, well. I'm really trying to think about when was the last time they had like a full-on hot love scene, like how many
Devon
thus far
and
this year.
Abby.
That was like the last hot one, right? The two hot ones? That was over a year ago.
That was the beginning.
That was January 2023.
Yep. When Devon.
That was it?
Yeah, because that was the full on. They gave us the stairs, the floor, the couch,
the piano.
The piano. They were all over that penthouse. Yep.
They were.
That was the last time we got a full on hot session. Everything else is cut to commercial, come back, just laying in bed or a breakfast table.
They must have got some people that complained about that being too hot.
We were talking about this a little bit on Wednesday. There's some people who just don't like love scenes. They want to get rid of the love scenes on soaps.
That's crazy. That's what soaps were about.
If you guys look it up, there's like different blog sites, different like Reddit really has like people really go in on that too. Since like 2021, they said they're tired of the love scenes. It's like someone said every other scene is like everyone is trying to have sex. I'm so sick of the sex on the show. Get to the stories. I'm like, jeez.
Wow.
What y'all think the Gates love scenes is gonna be like?
Oh, we gotta talk about that too. But we'll talk about that later because we gotta get the bowl.
There better be more than what we're seeing.
I think it will be.
Well, I think it will be, but I would think y'all should have picked a whole cast by now instead of just looking at 4 people in August. It starts in January unless they're just not giving us just a little bit here and there. I don't know. That's interesting to me. But anyway. Alright, did we cover everything? Because we did 1 hour and 35 minutes on The Young and the Restless.
Wow.
Oh, we're great.
For a boring week. Right, for a boring week. We did 1 hour and 35 minutes on Bowl. And I know the Bowl folks are like, oh, they're not done yet. I'll be back. Alright. Before we move over to The Bold and the Beautiful, make sure you hit that like button. Hey, Bree, how many people in here? Oh, over 100. I think I just saw your note.
Yeah, a little over 100.
Okay. I wonder is YouTube acting funky? Because we usually have like 150 people in here, but maybe they'll pop in when Bowl happens. Because I got a lot of Bowl fans on this platform. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Follow the other platforms. Instagram, Facebook group, TikTok, Threads, Rumble, and I think that's it. Oh, and the blog. Yep. And, we got 41 likes, Vicky says. We got over 100 people and only got at least get up to 50%. We got over 100 people, got 41 likes, but I appreciate the likes we do have. Alright. Okay. Keish, are you going to do Bowl with us?
I'll chime in here and there.
Because I know you got a lot to say about Hope.
I do.
Alright. Let me go ahead and do the summary for Bold and Beautiful, and then we'll break down the storylines. Okay. So, for the Bold and the Beautiful, for the week of the 29th through August 2nd, Luna kicks Katie out. RJ admit to Katie that Poppy drugged Luna while Brooke does that photo shoot. Poppy confessed to Bill about Tom. Hope gloats when Steffi forgets her passport. Poppy screams in terror as she and Bill are surprised in bed, and Steffi accuses Hope of getting what she wanted. Will's disrespectful of Bill's new family, and Hope accuses Steffi of trying to destroy Hope for the future. Luna asks Poppy if she unalived Tom, and Finn referees a fight between Steffi and Hope, and I am disappointed in that spoiler. Okay. Well, not, yeah, because we thought it was going to be something else, and it was not. Where y'all want to start?
Once again, so many just blah storylines to choose from.
We only got
I
two,
guess,
right, Bree? I mean, if you look at it, it's
yeah.
only two.
I guess Steffi and the fact that she lost her passport that led to nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, what was the purpose of all of that? I mean, go ahead, Bree.
I was gonna say, I keep saying this. I don't have faith in the writing like that. Like, of all things, they are fighting about hope for the future. This woman is the most delusional individual I have ever met. She don't even want to look at black and white. Like, the numbers don't matter. But for that, I know with Steffi, the fact that she lost her passport and everything, but just the fact that Hope was just gloating, thinking this was like a flex. This is something that she could like just be proud. Like, oh, Steffi forgot her passport. Team won Logan's. That's how it came off to me. And aren't you supposed to be trying to seduce Steffi's husband? Wouldn't it be a great opportunity to try to chase her down to the airport and get her passport so she's out the country so you can actually try to succeed at being a 304 for once?
Girl, she was busy trying to make sure her mom and Ridge got more action than Steffi going out of town. That whole thing is just crazy to me.
I mean, and they overhyped the spoilers.
Yes, they did. They sure did. And Finn looked like...
Yep, because they made that spoiler sound like Steffi was going to come home and see something.
Right. No, he's in there refereeing about hope for the future. Because Hope wants to be on Delulu Island. Even Carter tried to tell her. Carter said, look, it's not personal. They even broke it down. They said people are not even searching for it on the internet. It's not getting social media buzz. Nobody is purchasing the items. They're sending stuff back. What don't you understand? You just can't keep a business around just because you like it. It has to be profitable.
They send stuff back? They trying to get refunds?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And she said, we still need more time. Like Zindy and RJ, they're a new team. They're trying to work together. And Steffi was like, look, we already gave you time. Plenty of time.
Yeah.
On top of the time you just asked for.
Girl, Zindy doing it one more time. That boy went back to photography. He said, forget. He said, this light is hopeless. I'm done.
I mean, the writing is on the wall, and she is not trying to hear it. She think that all of those things that was mentioned by Carter and mentioned by Steffi is all Steffi's attempt to just end her line because she don't like her. No, ma'am, it's not making any money. You using fabrics. You got all this ugly stuff lined up against the wall. Nobody's buying it. Nobody's looking for it on social media or putting it into Google. Where to buy hope for the future. Hello, it's not selling. You're not bringing in money.
And Claire can't be her only customer.
I think more than ever, Bree is right. I think they need to just go ahead and cut. I was trying to I was feeling a little sad for her. I was trying to give her another chance, but I think you're all right. I think Hope for the Future needs to be cut, and I think going forward, can we please stop having lines that are centered around people that aren't designers? Like, can we stop with these people that are just faces and figureheads and let the designers actually get back to making the lines and being the head of the lines? Like, give Thomas a line if he comes back. And, because the whole, well, she's just a face and she's not a designer. I'm getting kind of tired of that. Let's get back to what Forrester used to be, where it was actually about the designs and the designers making them.
But that ain't happening.
It's low game.
In the last hour, something is going to come about that is going to save Hope's line, and it's going to be revived again. We're gonna have to sit here and watch, because I feel like they've created all of this just to do this stupid Steffy versus Hope feud, and then we're just gonna have to watch Steffy concede to Brooke and Hope, and because she didn't believe in them, and Hope for the Future is revived again. Like, that line ain't going nowhere. That's why this whole thing is so dumb. Like, they could have come up with something better.
Well, even Steffi said it. She's like, okay, we're not going to cut the line, but it's going to scale way back. Okay, why are you scaling something back? What you going to do with it? Are you going to send it to the Goodwill? What are we doing?
I think what she meant by that was they're cutting some of her funding. Like, they're not going to put as much money into it right now because it's not doing anything. In my opinion, it's more than probably what she deserves. You're not making them any money at all. What do you expect them to do for you?
They need to put her line exactly where it should be. Kohl's, Five Below.
Here we go. Wait a minute. Jay, did you just say Five Below?
Hey, you said Goodwill. That's a step above Goodwill.
Yeah. TJ Maxx.
They
got commercials at least.
But you know what? To be honest with you, listen, I'm a thrifter. So the thing is, there are new items that they sell in the Goodwill that did not sell in a regular store. So if they couldn't sell it, they'll send it to the Goodwill and donate it. Still with the tags on.
Would you buy Hope for the Future?
No.
So the most annoying thing about the whole
wait. Cheryl says send it to Temu.
Oh Lord.
Their slogan is "Shop like a millionaire," ain't it?
Wait a minute, Temu or Wish?
That's even worse.
Or just give them all to Claire, so she's the only buyer at this point.
Oh my God.
He will see Hope for the Future at Goodwill and scoff at it.
Listen, I'll be like, what is that? And then it'll end up at the Goodwill outlet where they sell everything by the pound before it goes to the landfill. So, my thing is, I don't understand why Hope ain't getting it. She had the nerve to dismiss Carter out of that meeting. I'm like, he's the COO. She's the CEO. They're telling you that your line, Miss Employee, ain't working. But you're going to dismiss the COO so you can go into a verbal battle with Steffi.
Because she feels that her mom can throw her weight around. So therefore, her mom's there. She feels that she's there too. And I blame Ridge and Eric for this too, because she's walking around as if she's untouchable. because she knows she can go run and cry, and she knows whatever she asks for, she's going to get her way. And I blame those men for that, because it should come down to business. Had it been anybody else's line, they would have canceled it by now.
Of course.
But because it's Brooke's daughter, they're going to do whatever they can to try to save it, even though it's not worth saving. And if she was smart enough and not trying to be so petty, she would have really worked hard to try to get Steffy out the country. Because now, while they're like Hope was saying, like mom and your dad can go focus on Brooke's bedroom, and Steffy's like, okay, well I'll focus on other lines, especially Hope for the future. See, the stupid. Now you have this woman focusing on your line, and that's the last thing you want to do, especially since it's failing.
Mm-hmm.
Why you want to draw some attention toward people possibly canceling your line, and then cry a river one minute and say like, oh my goodness, you're against me. You don't want me to have my line. You're against the Logans. Once again, Steffi. Like, come on.
And then Finn had to put his 2 cents in it.
For no reason.
I'm like, dude. Well, first, yeah, shut up. Exactly.
That's what I wanted to say.
And Hope knew she knew he was going to say something about it. That's why she threw it. Oh, I guess you'll have to find out. Well, I'm going to tell you. Steffi is trying to end my line. And of course, I'm like, Finn, don't say nothing.
Yeah, why she say that like he was going to save her?
Because he knew he was going to save her.
I wouldn't say that he saved her, but he didn't need to say what he said. He should have stopped at, I know this isn't my area of expertise, and then set his ass down somewhere.
Exactly.
We didn't need anything else to come out of his mouth. And him trying to play the peacemaker between his wife and the woman who was trying to get him to cheat on his wife, that's unacceptable. Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah,
you should have no sympathy for this woman anymore, because you see what she's trying to do, and you know your wife doesn't know what she's doing because you didn't tell her. So you got your wife sitting in here looking real stupid while this woman is trying to accuse her of targeting her, of not treating her fairly, of perpetuating the Logan versus Forrester feud. And she's going behind her back trying to get with her husband. And you know she's doing that.
Yeah, that's the thing, Keish. You hit it right on the head on the nail. Prior to a week before, he was doing this with whatever reason. He now knows that Hope is coming for him, and you still up in there trying to stand up for her. Plus, you ain't told your wife about the fact that Hope tried to come onto you in her lingerie or whatever that outfit was.
That ugliness.
That peacemaker stuff, that should be out the window now. Like, there is no need for you to try to make peace or to try to get them to have a peaceful relationship when you know what Hope is trying to do. Like, it's gone way past that now.
Yep.
Like, the best thing he can do in those situations is just leave the room and not offer any opinion, no kind of. Because what he was doing, I don't feel like he was in there taking up for Hope. He was in there trying to be neutral, saying, I understand what you're doing. I understand what you're doing. And it's like, no, Finn, shut up. Either support your wife.
Or be quiet.
100%, or be quiet. There's no need for you to be in there trying to back both women. Because Hope is not your freaking friend.
At all.
And he knows
how is it he has... You know what gets me? He wants to play peacemaker for Hope, but can't find any peace whatsoever for his brother-in-law, who did nothing to him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't even get me started on that one.
Yeah, you talk trash about Thomas, but then you want to make peace between Hope and Steffi. And then she turn around when Finn's like, oh, maybe she needs more time, and because of everything that happened after Thomas left. And whose fault was that? That was Thomas' decision. I mean, granted, Steffi could have talked to him till she was blue in the face. If Thomas didn't go, he wasn't gonna go. It was his decision. He chose to leave.
Just like she talked to him until she was blue in the face when he first started dating Hope, and he didn't listen to her.
Yep.
Thomas did what he wanted to do.
Yep.
And he did what he wanted to do when he decided to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So that ain't Steffi's fault. Hope that Thomas left. That's Thomas' fault because Thomas left, and it's also Thomas' fault that he chose to get engaged to and go back to Paris with Paris.
Right. Now, the one thing I did enjoy in that scene was, um, there was at one point, I forget what, Hope was talking or saying something, and Steffi and Finn were basically paying her no attention, and they were looking at each other and hugging each other and like kissing on each other, and Hope is just sitting back there at the table. I thought that was funny.
Are you talking
like
about when they was in the studio?
No, well, they did that in the studio too, but they did that when they were in the conference room as well.
Oh,
It was like one of their. It was like one of their last. I think it was the second to last scene, or maybe it was the last scene. Oh, it was when she was talking about when Steffi said that they had gotten to Monaco a little early or something like that, and she was like, "Man, maybe I could have come back here and gotten my passport and still went." And Finn was like, comforting her, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I know you really want to go." And then Hope was back there throwing her 2 cents in, and neither one of them was looking at her. They were both just looking at each other. I just thought that was funny. It was almost like for a second they didn't even remember that Hope was in the room.
She was that third wheel that she was trying to say Steffi would be if she went on the trip.
Exactly.
She made a little comment. She's like, "Well, I guess she'll learn next time." I do remember her saying that. I'm like, just a little itty bitty stuff. Like, it was so unnecessary. Like, you have a failing line, and you're so bothered by what Steffi's doing, how she's insinuating herself, even though it was a business trip. How Steffi's making these decisions. Well, it's her job. What are you doing over at Force Creations? What is your job? What is your role? Besides just to be petty.
Yeah.
And he did get a little snippy with her when she tried to blame her for Thomas leaving. He turned around and looked at her and said, "Wait a minute," or "Hey," or whatever it was he said to her.
Yeah, and
So
then she squinted her eyes at him or something right after that. Remember, I know what you're talking about, Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But even still, even still, why is she so bothered? If she says she's made peace with the fact that Thomas has moved on and she's moving full force to trying to get with Steffi's husband, why are you being so petty once again and blaming Steffi for that?
Yeah.
That's her MO. She blames Steffi for everything. She blames her for everything. That's what she does.
Yeah, she's not taking accountability for the fact that her lines suck. She's not taking accountability for the fact that you chose not to get married and Thomas wanted to get married and he took off, and the fact that it was Thomas' choice. She want to put all of that on her. Now, it'd be different if the line was successful and Steffi wanted to cut it. Then you could say, yeah, you being petty, Steph. I mean, the line is making money. People are ordering all this stuff. It's being featured here, there, Fashion Week, and you want to cut the line? Why? That makes sense, but it's not doing well. You're giving her the ammunition to cut the line because it's not doing well. She don't want to take accountability for none of that. And that's
Goodwill doesn't even want her stuff.
You silly.
And the fact that her line being in trouble, like, we know that that's a thing, and they haven't built a storyline around that to have her actually doing something that makes sense instead of having her doing what she's doing now, which is basically trolling Steffi and trying to get with Finn. Like, why are they not doing that? Because nobody would be interested in watching a storyline of her working with RJ.
Yeah, we haven't really gotten any true scenes of her new staff working on her line. We have not seen Zendaya and RJ working on anything for her new line.
Yeah,
like not.
Don't nobody care about her for the future if Thomas isn't there. She need that character literally needs Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, she's not interesting without Thomas.
And at this point, I'm like you, Keisha. I don't even want to see Thomas back on her line. I've been wanting to see Thomas have his own thing for a while.
Me too.
Yeah.
She's not interesting without a man.
What you say, Bree?
So she's not interesting without a man, like she centered her whole life around Liam, and then when he was gone, she cheated and she made her whole life about getting it with Thomas. And now that he's gone, she don't know what to do with herself, so she's lashing on to whatever man will give her time and attention.
Yeah, because for a minute, did you guys think that they were trying to Kim test her with Carter that Tuesday or Wednesday episode?
Yeah,
We weren't mad
unfortunately.
at it. Well, me and Keisha weren't. Bree
Wait a
felt.
minute,
Yeah.
what's that sound? Somebody got wind on their phone or something?
When?
Okay, it went away. I don't know what that. Well, you hear it?
Yeah, I hear it. It's almost like an echo almost.
Well, it sounds. I don't know what that is. Okay, but go
I
ahead.
could. Yeah, I didn't mind the. I don't know if they were actually doing a Kim test or not, but I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them try her with Carter. It'd be something completely different for her,
Mm-hmm. Completely different.
and it would get her out of this mess of a. It's not even a triangle. It's a one-sided crush that she's got on Finn, and clearly they're not having him reciprocate. So it's like they just don't know what to do with Hope right now because Thomas isn't there, and she's not with Liam. So her only other option is to feud with Steffy.
Which is ridiculous because at some point it just get tiresome. And from what the spoilers say for next week, this whole feud between them is supposed to get worse. And it's like, why? And it's
Yeah, doesn't
not.
it say that she's fantasizing? She has another fantasy about Finn,
Yes, she does. It's like,
and it's like, what is the point of this? If they are not going to have Hope actively scheme and set, even though it's not reciprocated, they can still do something to where she tries to set something up to make it look like something is going on with her and Finn, like Bill did to Steffi back in 2018, whenever that was, when her and Liam were going through their issues. Like at least have her do something like that to make this somewhat entertaining. But it's like she threw herself in the dressing room at him, and that's it. They didn't do anything with the passport like we all thought there was going to be something that she walked in on. They did nothing with that. They didn't even have it to where she was the one that took Steffi's passport, so she couldn't go to Monaco. Like, have her do something. Like, I just don't understand what they're doing with her right now.
Have her get her hands on Poppy's mitts
oh Lord.
and give them to Finn.
Oh my God. I honestly think they should have. I saw a picture of the guy that played Hollis. That dude is very attractive. They could have put her with him. I would have been okay with that. And I know people are saying about her and him being a bartender. I mean, you got rich people sleeping with the pool boy, and it's hot, especially in the romance novels. So they could
They
have
would
had.
have needed. They would have needed to. Uh-oh. They would have needed to. Hollis's personality. I don't care about the job he had,
Wait a
but
minute, I can you fading in and out, Keish?
is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't care about the job Hollis had, but the personality that they gave him was one of like. It just felt like super goofy to me. Like he was just a goofball, and it didn't really come off as somebody that Hope would date, personality wise.
I agree with that.
Yeah, he just seemed like a typical LA guy. Like, you know what I mean? There was nothing unique about his personality.
Hey Bree, I think that's your phone because every time that sound light up, your box light up.
Is it like wind or?
It sound like wind or something, like you sitting under a fan or something.
Actually, yeah, I'm sitting under air conditioning. Sorry, y'all. It's hot in Florida.
Well, I know it's probably hot down in Florida.
Whew, goodness. Okay, let me get over here. Is it better?
Let's see. Well, we'll see if we hear the sound again. But I mean, they could have easily kind of edged him up if they wrote him out of that whole goofiness with Deacon. You know, because he was definitely age appropriate for her. and they could have made it creative. That would have pulled her away from Forrester's and Spencer's, and she's sneaking around. You know, the whole thing with Thomas was over, and she had started having conversation over at Ildredino with him, and they hit it off, and nobody needs to. Whatever the situation was, they could have did something with that guy, because we need fresh people on the show. I mean, it's not that many characters, especially in this age group. You know, so
I agree with that.
yeah, because everybody else is. I mean, they're older, so you got Eric and all of them.
But she probably didn't think it was. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, and that would have been perfect too, because that he would have been easy for. It would have been super easy for Thomas to still hold back from Hollis. Like all he would have had to do was bite his lip and snap his finger, and she would have came running back to Thomas when he was ready to have her back. So it gives her a distraction until they were ready to put Thope back together.
Yeah, but
I was gonna say that she probably want to get with another man that's been with her mom.
Yeah, they just went on a date.
Because we keep forgetting Hollis.
They only kiss.
Her mom.
Yeah,
they only kiss.
Still.
Hey, Bree, go out and come back in.
Okay.
Let me see. Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Do we have any feedback?
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah, it's probably her phone. Yeah, somebody said it sounds like Morse code on Bree's phone. Morse code.
I thought it was like a TV on in the background or something, because it sounded like I was hearing voices.
Okay, Bree, say something.
Say something.
Oh, shut up, girl. You silly. Someone say something. Okay, I don't hear it now.
Okay, IG's been acting really weird on my end. I apologize.
Listen, Melissa Spencer said that it sounded like on your phone that it was Morse code going on.
That girl was sitting the SOS.
And Jay said sound like he was hearing voices. I'm like, you sure you ain't been hanging around Sharon too long?
I thought you had a TV on in the background or something.
I'm glad it sounds better, y'all. I'm sorry.
Anyway, we was talking about Hollis. Yeah, they went on a date and they had one kiss. It wasn't like they slept together or something. So I mean, they could have flipped that. I mean, when they had people on this show and they keep getting rid of them. You know, that's the problem. I mean, even with the situation with, like we always talk about with Taylor, we don't really know what's going on with Thomas. I've seen some speculation around social media. I haven't heard anything official yet or about that, so, you know. But it's like y'all keep getting rid of people and then y'all rotate through the same people. I mean, they're not even rotating Hope through Liam. Where is he? When last time we seen Liam? About 2 weeks ago?
Maybe he finally went to work, like Bree's been asking him to.
Now that's funny.
Here's hoping. That would make perfect sense. He's at work.
T, you said you heard some rumors about Thomas. Did you happen to see the speculation video that maybe he's being done like the woman who played Taylor is? Did you see that?
I haven't seen anything on social media confirmed by either CBS or Matt Atkinson. So, so I don't know as of yet. So it would be nice to have him back, but you know they're expecting a child, and I mean, I guess they'll figure it out, or if it's I heard contract issues too. So who knows? We'll see.
I need them to get it together because I miss Thomas.
Girl, listen, the clock is ticking. They got till March to figure out whether they're gonna even get another extension.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we are now into August. So you got September, October, November, December, January, February, March. They got 7 months to get it together. Yep.
Yeah, this and the fact that they're overhyping the spoilers, like the spoilers for like this storyline here. He gets caught in an awkward moment. He got caught up in another argument that he didn't need to be in. That was not anything. Like, come on, y'all. Come on, writers. We know y'all listen.
Yep. It's crazy. Even the whole passport thing, I thought sure, like Keith said, that maybe Hope would have hid it and she purposely did it. Or on the flip side, if you want Steffi gone, get the darn passport to her so she can go to the other side of the planet while you chase after her husband. They didn't know what to do with the writing this week with this situation. I mean, and then
Yeah.
Steffi, she put the, if you look at that bottom picture, the darn passport was in Steffi's face. You mean to tell me you didn't see that?
Yeah. I agree. That Hope could have even sent a text message, sent a picture message, say like, "Hey, you left your passport." She could have made a lot more effort to make sure it got in that woman's hands. So if she's actively trying to seduce that woman's husband, take full advantage of that. Get her out the country. She could have made more effort, but she thought she would get a little tally mark for the Logan side by Steffi not leaving and letting her mom and Ridge have more time together, even though they had 30 plus years together.
Right.
That's how we know she really don't want to be, and she just wants to do it to mess with Steffi.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, Melissa, when I said about March, I'm talking they're signed through March of 2025, which is 7 months from now. So we'll see if they can get it signed or not again for an extension after March 2025.
Yeah, because March is around my birthday. Well, yeah, March is my birthday month.
Mm-hmm. Did it seem like to you that Brooke was happy that Steffi didn't come on that trip?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell that too. And she was like, "Oh, we'll just have some fun and it'll be so romantic." And I'm like, "Y'all, ain't this for work? I get it, y'all probably end up getting a little something in, but y'all made this like a whole romantic." Even Hope was like, "Oh, they're gonna go on a romantic getaway." And I'm like, "This is a business trip."
It was so annoying how it was like they made Steffi out to be this, like she was the interloper on the trip.
Right. When she's the co-CEO.
And she was originally on the trip. She was part of planning the trip.
Right.
Like it was a business trip. And then once Brooke was added, it was like, I can't believe Steffi is still going. I can't believe she's doing this. And it's like, what? She was originally there. She wasn't the third wheel. She wasn't the person that was added 2 days before. Mm-hmm. And the way that Hope was like pestering her to drop out of the trip, like the day that she was leaving for the airport, it's like, what is your problem?
Yeah, that was wild for sure.
Yeah, that whole thing was just ridiculous to me. You trying to talk the co-CEO off of going on a business trip. Plus, Steffi and Ridge wanted father-daughter time too. So that didn't, obviously, Hope didn't care about none of that. It was all about getting her mama in the hotel so she can get up under Ridge.
I still feel like if anybody stayed home, it should have been Ridge, because what's your purpose now? You're not the co-CEO. And I didn't think he was designing on the bedroom line, but I guess he is one of the designers. I thought he was just doing couture.
That's what he was doing, couture. You heard him say he did the bedroom line?
They kind of made it seem like he is doing some stuff on it.
Okay.
He's doing 3 lines.
Well, didn't I also hear that not only that Zende was a photographer, but he was also working on Brooke's bedroom line too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess he's doing Brooke's bedroom and Hope for the Future.
She making him earn his check.
I was
She
so annoyed by that.
you want me? You don't want me to send you that Antarctica? You gonna earn this check? You finna do all of this?
You were
Yeah,
annoyed
I
by
was so
what, Bree?
by the fact that this woman threatened this man's employment. And the next minute, he's just like loading on taking this woman's pictures and saying like, "Oh, I can't wait to post this on social media. I'm gonna work around the clock and do this and this." I'm like, I would not have care anything to do with Brooke Logan, especially since he is actually a forester and she is just Ridge Forrester's girlfriend. Like, how dare she even remotely try to threaten that Eric's grandson, Ridge's nephew? Like, come on now. And they wrote him as if everything is just all good, no worries. And he's just taking photos of this very woman who wanted to send him to Antarctica.
To touch on that, Brie, I felt the same way. I was very annoyed by that. Like, okay, I get it, you have a job to do, but the fact that they had him like gassing her up while he was taking the pictures, oh, you look so amazing, you look beautiful. If I was him after she said that to me, okay, yeah, I would have done my job, but it would have been like strictly robotic, monotone. I would have been like, turn left, okay, tilt your head. Like I would have. He was like sitting there just being so nice to her. I would not have gone out of my way to be nice to her after she said that to me. I would have been strictly professional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to me that was all very weird. I mean, they got enough money in there to have professional photographers, and I know he was a photographer at one point because I know somebody brought that up, and he's also the designer. But y'all didn't want to hire professional photographers for the bedroom line. Y'all like, hey, go get your camera and take some pictures of Brooke.
And this is the part that gets me. Hope has 3 designers because Rich said he was designing for Hope for the Future too on the plane. He said he was doing couture, Hope for the Future, in Brooke's bedroom. She has
Wow.
3 designers, and how can she afford to have Zende take pictures for her mother and work on her bedroom line while her line is failing?
Well, the thing is that it's just so unfortunate that the writing is just all over the place. It really is. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, because it's a lot of discrepancies on certain things. I mean, yes, Ridge was going to design, but he's designing across 3 platforms. He's one of the best designers, supposedly, on that show. And if he's been designing for Hope for the Future as well, then why is her line still doing bad if he's such a great designer?
Exactly.
Not
Because
just one
there
of the
is
best
no excuse.
designers. Not just one of the best designers in the show. They've portrayed Ridge as one of the best designers in the world. So exactly, why is her line? Now I don't know if he just started working on it, but still, if he's been working on it and has already produced some things, why is the line still failing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ridge has been designing for what, 30, 40 plus years. And then they have Zende, who's been working on Hope for the Future for many years. And then she also has RJ, who has little to no experience. Like, what is this design team?
I mean, look at what you just said, RJ. RJ started designing, what, about 8 months ago to help Eric when he really didn't want to do it. He was a social media influencer. And then you throw him on one of the lines that's supposed to be bringing in money and you expect him to be up and running. He ain't there yet. And
Well,
Zende
Ridge
is
needs him a phenom, right?
and then Zende is spread thin if he's designing for two different fashion lines because now we just found out he was designing for Brooke too. So I don't know. The writing is just crazy. But thinking about crazy writing, we gotta talk about Katie, Bill, Poppy, Lee, Will Spencer, and Luna.
Oof. Well,
So we still stuck on this summer mystery. And we had several things happen. We had Katie running around monkey branching all her thoughts together to create a narrative. Even though she really doesn't have anything substantial. It's just things that she's connecting the dots in her head. And she goes to talk to Lee about it. And Lee, as much as she might not like her sister, she don't think her sister is a person that would take somebody's life. Anything?
And I was proud of Lee because she kept it honest. She's like, look, my sister is a gold digger. She likes to pop, party favors at music festivals. And yeah, she does all these things. And yes, she did those things in the past. I don't know what she's doing currently. But my sister's not an unaliver. And she kept it clear. She even told Katie to stop. So she is at least still defending her family. She says, look, she's not my favorite person in the world. We don't get along, which is fine. That's understandable. There's plenty of people who's like that. But she still defended her family, though.
Because Katie was trying to be slick. She knew she thought that she was going to get confirmation bias from Lee. Like, I know she don't like her sister as much as I do. I can definitely go and talk sass with her, and she probably gonna say all kinds of things. But like you say, Bree, she was like, yeah, she might be some things, but I'm gonna have to stop you right there. Let's not go there.
Some of that is her fault, though, because she volunteered the information about how she doesn't trust her sister's decision making or whatever it was that she said to Katie that one day when they were in the design office. So she went in there talking mess about her sister, and then wanted to act shocked when Katie had these, these ideas about what Poppy had possibly done. And it's like, Lee, you gave her that ammunition.
Yeah, because even when Katie came in there and sat down, one of the first things she said was, I know you have, like, trepidations or issues about your sister. Like, that was, like, one of her opening lines. Like, trying to establish that I know you don't, I know you have issues and concerns about your sister, like try to get her to open up more.
That.
But I was proud of her. I was just gonna say, but I didn't like that she
kind of shut it down.
Yeah.
Because she was still putting it on Sheila.
Yep.
It was like almost that moment where you see siblings and you be like, I could talk about my sister, but I'm not gonna let you do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right, exactly. I agree with that. I talk crazy about it, but I ain't gonna let you do it.
Right.
And then, it started before that with that confrontation, and before that, RJ spilled the beans. Now, Luna did not want that conversation out. RJ even told his mother not to say anything, and then he goes and tell Katie, and she just was like, oh my God, poor Bill. And I'm like, Bill has done worse things than Poppy. Okay, but you worried about Bill. What'd you say?
Yeah. I said he did worse things even to his own children. And it's just, I don't know, that was just comical. But he had the nerve to say that she was dangerous, or Poppy was dangerous. I'm like, RJ, what were you expecting Katie to do with that information?
Right. Yeah, you gave it to her on a silver platter and she was ready to eat it.
You gave her more ammo to try to really find out what's going on with Poppy, because even when she approached Poppy with that information, it's like she already had it in her head, but RJ is kind of just reconfirmed that she'd still like continue to investigate. And he, as much as he was upset with the accusation, I'm like, you fed it to her. And this is the result.
Yep. You gave it to her, so she took it and ran with it. And then he come back and say, I'm so sorry. I know I shouldn't have said something. Yeah, you did know it, but you told her anyway. Because, earlier in the week, Katie confronted Poppy about Tom because she linked him being at the same concert, which we kind of talked about last week. But
Yeah.
yeah, we kind of talked about last week, but it just created a domino effect with Katie where she went from this to this to this and then confront Poppy and then got the information from RJ about them doggone mints. And the way it was told, it was like accidental drugging. No, she picked up the wrong case off the desk. All that stuff, y'all had all y'all purse items all thrown all over the design office desk, and she happened to grab the wrong case.
And then I don't even think RJ mentioned the fact that Luna had mixed it with alcohol either. So
Exactly.
he made it seem like it was like strictly Poppy's mints. And drugging was definitely way too strong of a word to say for that. Like she didn't intentionally drug her daughter. Like that was very irresponsible of him to word it and say it like that. And
Right.
then
I
didn't give
agree.
the full information.
Exactly. And of course, when you say she accidentally drugged her, and of course Katie gonna lose it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when all what happened, and then that's the thing, she kept popping one after the other of those things. I'm like, dang, we was talking about that, what, 4 or 5 months ago. Who breath smelled that bad that you gotta eat that many mints?
Oh my goodness. Like, brush your teeth, girl.
And she kept popping them mints, and then she followed it up with champagne. You mix alcohol with the wrong substances, whether it's legal or holistic, it can cause problems. You can't even take prescription medications with certain things, or
That is true.
cross them with other medications. It could cause a reaction, and that's what happened. And granted, she thought they were mints, but the way RJ described it is if I had a glass, I put some in it, I set it next to her. I ain't mean for her to drink it, but it's like that was weird the way it was worded, and she reacted to it. Um, but that's the part. But see, here's the thing, because Poppy told Bill about Tom and about him possibly being the father and the letters and all that. She has not told Bill about those mints and what happened with Luna and Zende.
I think that's slowly about to come into play, especially since we're seeing Zendy on screen now. And that's why I hate that storyline for Zenday so much,
Mm-hmm.
because like that is just I don't want to get into all that too much, but he's going to get the full blame, and then Bill's going to come down on him and say that you did this to my daughter, how dare you, and that's unfortunate, but she's going to do whatever and say whatever to get the heat up off of her. That's the only reason why she even came forth and told Bill about the whole Tom thing, because she knew Katie was going to get to that man first. So she had to come clean, at least with that stuff. But when Katie goes to him about the mints and the party favors, whatever the case is, I think Keith already touched on this a little bit too early this week, that he knows about the mints because she was popping them in front of him at the restaurant too.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't know how far it goes to where it affected his daughter though. So I think she could really try to really paint a certain picture to Bill, like, hey, this woman is dangerous. Look at what she's done. Like, you need to watch out for yourself. Like, I don't want this woman around my child. Like, that's definitely about to come, because like any form of party favor, some people are just not going to allow that around their kid.
Well, the other thing is Katie only got half the story because RJ didn't. He only brought up the accidental drugging. He didn't bring up the Zende and Luna sexual mix up.
I don't even think if Bill finds out about that, like if they bring that story back around,
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like Bill is going to. I don't think that's going to be something that makes him not want to be with Poppy anymore. Like, I could see him, especially if he talks to Luna and he knows that Luna is forgiving her mother. Like, I don't see that being the thing that where Bill is like, well, that's way too far for me. I can't be involved with somebody like this. If they even like try to make that an issue.
I mean, I guess.
And even I was just gonna say, even the stuff with Tom, like, she didn't owe Bill an explanation for that. She didn't owe anybody an explanation for anybody else that she slept with in her past, regardless of if Tom believed that he was Luna's father with no DNA test. As far as she knows, the test that they took said that Bill was the father. So why did she need to reveal that she had a relationship with Tom?
Yeah, because before that, she established that there were other possible.
Oh yes, she did. She said, yeah, because Bill was a possibility, which means there were other options on the table.
But that possibility passed away, and she knows that Katie was going to go to this man with that information, so she was going to beat Katie to the punch with that, and at least try to clear up her name. So she had no choice.
Well, only thing that Katie was going to go to Bill was the fact of the concert. She don't even know about the letters or the paternity issue. All Katie was going to come to him was about, oh my God, did you know the same night you was at the festival, same thing she told Lee, the same night that you was at the festival, Tom Starr was playing there too. That can't be a coincidence. And he going to be like, okay, he was playing at the same concert we was there, and she didn't have any other, like, if she came to Bill with the letters, because see, Poppy told him about the letters. Katie don't know nothing about that part.
Yeah, because I didn't even like that, because on the surface, like, Katie made it seem like she got such a big scoop, but on the surface, it wasn't really that big of a deal that Tom performed at the concert her and Bill was at. He was a singer at the time. Like, you know what I mean? It was kind of like a Woodstock kind of festival where there were a lot of performers there. And so, you know what I mean? So the fact that Tom, like, she made it seem like it was such a big thing. When you really think about it, it's not really a big thing. Tom was a singer around that time, and that was a huge festival. And he performed there, like, you know what I mean? So I was even kind of like upset that she was acting like it was such a huge deal that Tom was there.
Yeah, it was all speculation. That's why with Poppy telling Bill, yes, I knew Tom. Yes, I slept with him. Yes, it was a possibility that he could have been Luna's father because I slept with him at the same time. Yes, he sent me all these letters. She's way ahead in this whole revelation with Bill than Katie would have ever been, because Katie have none of that information.
Yeah, and even in the next week's the little sneak peek for next week, when Katie goes to him and she kind of looks like she's like shaking and almost frantic, and she's like, "You could be in danger." Bill's kind of looking at her like, "You all right?" Like, like she's kind of crazy a little bit. So I wonder where they're actually how far they're gonna go with this, and where is this gonna actually lead Katie's character?
I think Katie is going to tell Bill about the mints, and that's why I was saying, yeah, Katie has, with the whole accident, or the way RJ put it, the accidental drugging. That's the part I think Katie is going to talk about.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's why she would say she's dangerous, or like, because she told him she can be dangerous, so that's probably what she's gonna lead to. Yep.
And I think she's going to say, like, she did that to her own daughter. I think that's going to be the key thing there. But she's also going to say, like, look, I don't want this woman around my son or our son. And I wouldn't be surprised if she told Will that too. And that will also make him have a particular view of Luna and Poppy as well.
The only way that that's going to get cleared up, because, like, I think one of you said, Bill knew that she was popping mints. Bill even asked her about the mints when they were at Ir Giardino earlier this year. So he knew she was popping mints, and he was telling, I think she told him it's to calm her down and relax her and stuff. So he knows that those mints exist. The problem is the story that was told to Katie is not exactly how the story happened. So it's going to take Luna and Poppy to say, hey, this is what actually happened. We were in the design office. Our purse was all on top of the desk. Things were falling out. She accidentally grabbed those mints you saw me used to take. And then she went there. She kept eating them, thinking that they were regular mints, and she was drinking alcohol. That is going to clear all that up. It's not like she's a drug dealer selling mints on the corner, or she's strung out going to pick them up every week. Like Katie is thinking, like, oh, you got to keep this woman from around my son.
Mhm.
I think it's going to take the two of them to actually say, okay, I know what RJ told you, but this is what actually happened.
Now, the
Yeah,
only other caveat would be Brooke, because she don't like Poppy either. She didn't want, because she felt that she was a bad influence around her son and also Luna too. So she could also back up Katie in that regard to say, like, I knew about this for months. My son told me to keep this quiet, but no, I don't agree with Poppy being she should be around you or Will.
Well, actually, I
I mean,
mean, go ahead, Keish.
asking her not to be around Will is one thing, but Bill is a grown man, so if Bill feels like he's
Oh
not
yeah,
in
of course.
danger simply because Luna accidentally picked up her mother's mints, like that. To me, that's over. Katie's being overkill right now. Bill
hmm
Spencer, Bill Spencer is not in danger from Poppy. Like
yeah,
I
and
need her to
wording
cut it
it,
out.
yeah, and wording it, she did that to her own daughter is not correct either. She didn't do anything to her daughter. She didn't slip the mints into her. She didn't give her the mints. She accidentally picked up her mother's mints. So that's very inaccurate to say, oh, look what she did to her daughter. She didn't do anything to her. She picked up her mother's mints by accident.
But once again, it's going to be however Katie would take that, and she could also say, like, look, you can even ask Brooke. You know how Bill loves to listen to Brooke about anything.
Yeah,
So,
but the
and
second
plus,
yeah, but the
mhm,
second his daughter tells him what happened, whatever Katie and Brooke would say is irrelevant. Once Luna tells him, "I grabbed my mother's mints by accident,"
possibly.
you know what I mean? Like it's over. Once when she tells him, "I'm the one that grabbed my mother's mints by accident," there's nothing that Katie and Brooke can say. You know what I mean? Because Poppy didn't give her daughter the mints.
Right, and all she
And
have to say,
possibly.
all Poppy has to say, remember those mints that you saw me popping for to relax me? Those mints, my daughter mistakenly got a hold of them. Blah 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 blah. So, and I think that's going to be interesting on where this goes. If they're going to keep this girl as Bill's daughter, because I don't see anything in the spoilers questioning paternity. I see them trying to blow this whole mystery up, but because I guess Katie somewhere on Thursday or Friday of next week, Katie is supposed to find the answers that she's looking for. However, is the answer Poppy or is it somebody else? So I don't know. We'll have to find that out. Maybe she'll be the one to reveal something or somebody. Because when I look at soap social media, I know a lot of, because we were talking about this yesterday, and how the writers are putting arrows right at Poppy. But a lot of people on social media, I came across several posts from different groups where they was asking the questions, who's setting up Poppy? So a lot of people don't think that this girl is the perpetrator.
Yeah, how did you guys feel about so when Luna found the book bag? Because to me, it seemed like Poppy was surprised the book bag was there because she was like, "What are you doing with Tom's book bag?"
Exactly.
She did seem surprised. And see,
But
I
she,
wanted to
she
ask. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Keith.
That was Brie.
oh, I was
Oh, my
that
fault.
was me. I was gonna say she identified it. It was Tom's book bag. She didn't say like, "What is that? What are you doing with what is whose book bag is that?" So she knew who book bag that was.
But even the way that she said it was like, "How did that get here? Like, how do you have his bag or that bag or whatever it was that she said?" And then even when Luna was like, "Is his bag is full of letters to you about my fraternity. And she's like, yeah, I read those letters a long time ago. Tom's a stalker. He was a drug addict, blah, blah, blah. So to me, it didn't even seem like she felt
Caught
threatened,
up.
I guess. Yeah, by Luna finding the bag or finding those letters or reading the letters or whatever. It was more like, yeah, he did send letters. He was a drug addict. I wanted nothing to do with him. He was a stalker. Basically, I didn't want him to have anything to do with you or me because he wasn't a good person or wasn't in a good place or however you want to put it. So it didn't feel like, oh my God, you saw the letters. It was just like, how did you get that? How did you get those? Yeah, I knew about them. I read them. And
You said
That's
and.
the selfish part of her.
You know what? Bree's question is interesting though, because Bree, did she say Tom's book bag before Luna even said anything?
She knew. She said that was Tom's book bag, and she also knew about the letters as well. She's like, "What are you doing? Why are you going through that?" And she's like, "Answer me."
Yeah, how would she have known that? Because she wasn't at Deacon's restaurant when Hollis was showing it to Sheila, and then when Sheila mentioned it to the well, she was that was Lee there, not her. So she wasn't there to even see what Thomas' book bag looked like. So how would she have known before Luna even said anything that was actually Thomas' book bag? So that is an interesting question. And
because
then,
did she say that, or did Luna say it's Tom's bag? He's got letters in here.
yeah, that's why I was wondering if Luna said anything first, but Bree said she didn't.
No. What? I got. Hold on. Okay, so it says, hold on. Let me, because I got the actual transcript here. So Luna. Oh darn it! I hate when that happens. Hold on. As soon as I get ready
that girl was startled and in tears.
Hold on. Okay. Oh, jeez. I gotta scroll down. I hate doing this on my phone. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Luna reads one of the letters. She reads another where Tom says Luna needs to know her real father. She opens another, and again it talks about how it's not being around his daughter. It talks about how hard it is not being around his daughter around the holidays. She's visibly disturbed when Poppy appears and asks what she's doing. Luna confronts her mom. Luna says, "These are letters from Tom Starr to you, and he's claiming to be my father." So she was the one that told Poppy that these were Tom's letters. It wasn't Poppy saying that those are Tom's letters. So she identified it.
But didn't she ask, like, whose book bag is that, or what book bag? Like, why are you doing with his book bag? I could have swore she said that.
Hold on. Let me see. Poppy knows. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me see. These are letters from Tom Starr to you, and he's claiming to be my father. Poppy knows and sent the letters back. She tells her kid that Tom was a drug addict and a stalker. Luna freaks out knowing that he died at Il Giardino. She asks her mother if she was the one that unalived him. And then, of course, they left us with that cliffhanger.
Yeah, I'll watch that episode again. I could have swore she said, "Where are you doing that?" Or "Where did that come from?" Or like, "How did you get?"
Now, T, I wanted to bring something up to you, because you know how we talked about, we talked about how they had Poppy do that ridiculously over the top scream when Will came into the room. And I was just thinking though, because we was talking, I was like, it really doesn't make sense. Why was she screaming like she was in a horror movie? But now I got to thinking, as we've been talking about the mints throughout the night, she said several times she takes the mints for her anxiety. It calms her down if she has anxiety. And it's also been discussed that she stopped taking the mints. So if she has stopped taking those mints, then her anxiety is probably up again, right? So maybe any little thing that's out of the ordinary or spooks her makes her react like that. So in that regard, I think her reacting like that would make sense if she actually has like anxiety problems or issues, and maybe she gets spooked easily. So any little situation like that, maybe that's how she reacts when she's not on the meds.
I think they did that not realizing that we were going to find out that that was going to be Will Spencer. A lot of that stuff, like even with the sugar thing, that wasn't revealed by the spoilers or the network. It came from us doing sleuthing work, and we found out and connected dots that that was going to be Will, which is why it was no shock to most of us. But they
Mm-hmm.
wanted, when they had the creepy scene showing the camera creeping downstairs and all this old kind
Yeah.
of stuff, they wanted to make it look like it was somebody coming up there to do something to them.
They probably wanted us to think it was the same person whoever took out Hollis and Tom.
Exactly. But all of us
But
knew that Will Spencer was going, based on the way the spoilers were set up, he was scheduled to show up on August 1st. And a lot of us connected the dots. We put it in our spoilers. I weren't the only one. There were others, social media soap influencers that put it in their spoilers as well. So the fans already knew it was Will. So with her screaming like that, even though they tried to make it look like it was a creep in the house, that's why
yeah.
we reacted the way we did.
But wouldn't you say her reaction was still slightly over the top? Because if she was by herself, okay, I get it. But she was with Bill. It's not like Bill wouldn't have protected her, if you know what I mean. So I feel like that scream was still over the top. But I mean, I get it. I get it.
It was stupid.
Yeah.
I wanted to point something out that Belinda Hill had said. She said Poppy knew about Tom's book bag when she went over there and he showed her the letters too. So she already knew about the book bag when she saw I guess the night or the day that Tom had passed away. So she knew exactly what Poppy was like.
Right, she probably know what it looked like, but she was wondering why was it there and why did she have it.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't see the big deal in her and Tom knowing each other. Like that does not make Poppy a murderer.
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm saying.
she had a relationship with Tom. It's like they have jumped all the way out the window on the fact that Poppy and Tom had a relationship and Luna could have possibly been his, and they're going straight to murder. She killed him because she didn't want anybody to know that possibly he could have been Luna's father. Like that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Katie acting like she on Law and Order SVU, like she solved some big mystery just because she figured out that Tom was at the concert. But like you said, it really is not that big of a deal.
I'm honestly thinking whatever Katie finds out next week, I don't think it's going to be the person that she think it is. I think she's going to stumble up on something that is that might send her a different, because there are some people that think Bill is behind this, him or Justin, or both.
Justin sure does have these guilty looks on his face. And I think that could be a misdirect. But like, you remember when he was at Deacon's restaurant, every time Deacon was like talking about it and getting closer to saying he think it was something dirty and it wasn't like accidental. Like Justin had like the fear of God in his eyes and in his face. He kept making all these weird faces like, oh my God, he's figuring me out. I think that's totally going to be a misdirect because it would just be too obvious for him to be making those faces. Like he looks too guilty looking like that.
The same could be said about Lee too. When people were saying about her facial expressions, I'm like, Lee just has this very big certain facial expressions. That's just who she is.
Yeah, Lee has the resting bitch face as her automatic anyway. So like,
yeah, but that's just who she is. But once again, that's why I don't believe
that's par for the course for her.
Yes, but I personally, that's why I don't believe it was ever her. That's why, and I don't believe it's Bill either, because I don't believe him planting any evidence over at Poppy's house to where it could incriminate her if she didn't do it. And we haven't seen Justin on screen for too much to see like what direction he would even go in, if he's ever going to if he's protecting Bill, if he's going against Bill. The only person we haven't seen really much is Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's who I was hoping Luna would find at that house. Like, just happened to be asleep. Like
but you know what? Okay, let's start right there. Start right there. Who, if it's okay, so let's say Poppy is not the perpetrator. who would want to plant that bag at that place? Now, if Bill put it there, remember that place is to be demolished, and I don't see why, because it looked like a lovely little apartment with the designs and different glass things on the back wall. So I'm like, y'all destroying that place? What's wrong with it? But anyway, um, unless he didn't expect Poppy and them to find it, they were supposed to go over there and grab some stuff and come back to the house or whatever. Maybe he figured it was going to be demolished with the building. I don't know. But besides, who else would benefit by putting that bag at that house?
That's why I don't think it was Bill, because I know the whole plan he had with Ridge to take Sheila out turned out to be dumb, but I still think Bill is too smart, like, to even put Poppy in that situation. You know what I mean? So
Right, but who do you
I don't
think?
even think he would plant it there. So I don't think it's him. I'm starting to lean towards back what I had originally thought, that it's going to be a character we haven't even seen before. It's going to be somebody from maybe Tom's past or something like that. I know at one point Keisha was kind of thinking the same thing. I don't know if your mind has changed on that, but I'm starting to feel like it's going to be somebody we haven't seen yet, and they threw all these faces at us just to get us, to misdirect us. So bringing Justin back, bringing Jack back, I don't think it's going to turn out to be any of them.
Okay, well,
I agree.
the one in the comment section said, "What if it's Will?"
No, I can't see that at all.
Why not?
I mean, look at what he said. He was like, "This is somebody you hooked up with 100 years ago, and you expect me to treat them like family?" Like, Will didn't even know about these people, what, 2-3 weeks ago or
Yeah,
whatever?
he did know. He admitted it to his mom. He knew about it.
I still think that's kind of far fetched. I don't think he would go that far to commit murder. Or excuse me, I don't know if I can say that, but to unalive people, I don't think Will did that.
Okay. Once again, I don't have faith at all with these writers, and I keep expressing that. I think, and I'm glad that you kind of brought something up, J Money, about Poppy's anxiety, because it could be her, and she could be overly dosing or micro dosing because of all the anxiety about Luna's paternity, and she not realizing what she's doing in her actions. Because how would that book bag just magically just pop up at her place if only her and Luna are at that place? And plus, they made it a very big point that she's there part-time, and she's over at Bill's place part-time. And then Luna's over at RJ's as well, part-time. So when Poppy has an opportunity to be at that apartment by herself, but maybe she's not completely off for those meds, because even Lee kind of hinted, like, as far as she knows that she's off of the medication or she's off the drugs or whatever the case is. What if she's taking that medicine, or not taking that medicine, taking that drug? I'm trying to find a better way to say that. And without her realizing, just doing all of these killings or doing all these unalivings, and then waking up thinking that nothing has happened and she didn't do anything wrong.
That also gives someone the opportunity, because, like you said, they're at the apartment part-time. If someone is trying to set Poppy up, that gives them the opportunity to get into her apartment, because they're not there that often. And they said that Luna said that they're the only ones left in the building, because I guess their apartment, the building is getting ready to get torn down or something like that. And they were like, "We're the last holdouts." So, I mean, it's the perfect opportunity for someone that's trying to frame her to have all kinds of access to her apartment, because they're not there that often as well. So I don't know. They go both ways. And I just don't see them putting 2 murders on Poppy. Oh, I'm sorry. 2 unalivings on Poppy, unless they're getting ready to get rid of her character. Because how do you get her out of that?
I mean, think about how well they
finding the real perpetrator. You could get her out of it. You know what I mean? Like, if they go as far as to put her behind bars, but Bill fights to prove her innocence, then you could eventually bring her back. You know what I mean? Like, it could be a whole situation where somebody has to believe in her and fight for her. for her innocence. Because now with y'all saying this, I wouldn't be surprised if whoever put the boot back there comes back and plants the same concoction of drugs in her apartment too, to make it seem like, oh yeah, she's the one that was putting those drugs in Hollis and Tom. Because if you're gonna plant the book bag there, if you really want to make her guilty, you would plant those drugs in there too to make it seem like she had them.
Well, I guess we'll have to find out soon enough, because at some point, once a suspense story drag on too long, it's like I'm over it. Because it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I mean, we've been at this since the beginning of June. And so
Yep.
we're now 2 months in. Now this is beginning of August. At some point, y'all, I know it's supposed to be a summer mystery. Okay, fine. Can we like get to the end? But maybe they don't want us to, because what other storyline do we have except for Hope and Steffy fighting?
That's pretty much it.
That's
And
the
the thing
only.
is,
Yeah.
they haven't pinpointed it in anybody else's direction besides Poppy, and that's why I don't have faith in the writers, especially since they overhype a lot of the spoilers. I really think that it's going to end up being this woman, because they give us little hope within the spoilers, saying like, oh, like they just did with the Steffi storyline, losing her passport. We're thinking, okay, she's going to catch Finn and Hope together. No, it was a completely different outtake, and it was disappointing. I think this murder mystery is going to kind of have that same result. It seems obvious because it probably will be obvious.
Yeah, and
Um,
but the thing is, if that's the case and they get rid of Poppy, then what's next? Because we don't have anything outside of Hope, fake fantasies, Finn playing peacemaker, and Steffi fussing. So either they're gonna drag this out, or it's gonna be somebody that, if it is her, then what are you gonna pivot to? Or it's going to be somebody that we don't even know, and it's some random person from Poppy's past. It's going to be interesting. Whatever it is, they need to get ready to close this thing up, because at some point it's just like, okay, whatever. Who is it? Let's just get it over with.
yeah, and like you said, this has been going on for 2 months. This mystery is basically going to be going on longer than we even had Tom on the show. So, like, it's going to be going on so long, people going to forget who Tom was.
I
I was
mean,
He doesn't
yeah.
even have 2 months worth of appearances, and it's already been 2 months on the mystery. So how much longer is you going to have the mystery going?
Yeah, I'm just, and I know that this other thing, which I'm about to put on the screen, because they gave us a little bit of, uh-oh, it must be gone. I thought I still had it. Oh well, never mind. There, I had the picture of the woman that was hiding in Rome, or not
Mm-hmm.
Rome, Monaco, because there's that new spoiler video that came out where
Yeah, she was like
Ridge
looking
and
at the tree.
yeah, Ridge and Brooke are on a balcony overlooking Monaco, and there's this woman talking about, why is this happening? So, how long are they going to be over there with that storyline? Because obviously they're going somewhere with this woman watching them. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. A lot of people are speculating that it could be Taylor. That would be nice. I hope that would be the case. But I don't know if I even want Taylor embroiled in a whole triangle again between Ridge and Brooke, if that is her.
Yeah, and that would be weird that you would bring her back to interrupt Brooke and Ridge and wherever they're at, when you didn't have her come over when her daughter was being arrested or accused of, you know what I mean, with the whole Sheila thing. She
Right.
didn't come back for that, but then you gonna have her come back for this? That wouldn't even make sense.
Yep. I agree with you on that. So, pretty interesting stuff. I hope that they clear a lot of this stuff up. What did y'all think about Crew Morrow?
I love seeing him look just like Josh.
Sounds like him everything. I'm like, look at Nick.
Yeah, I was.
Young
He
baby
his.
Nick.
I gotta say his smile is completely perfect. I'm like him and his mama put some money into getting his teeth nice and perfect. He had a big old smile. I'm like, dang, nice smile and everything. So
Yeah, I said in our chat I liked his debut way better than RJ's.
dang.
I mean, he's gonna have the same exact debut trying to get his parents back together.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did a contradictory thing just because he told his dad, "What about mom?" And then you go over to your mom and say all the bad things that dad did to us. Okay, then why are you asking your dad to get back with your mama?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, you got all of these strangers. He, my dad has all these strangers in our house.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna try to put his parents back together. That's the end goal for that kid. And
Can we officially say Katie is a simp for wanting Bill back after everything he's done with her, done to her?
I guess that, I mean, but she keep claiming that she's not jealous and that she don't want him back, and it's not about me. Then what is it about, ma'am?
I don't know. She broke up with Carter, and she definitely looked like, even before like she started acting like this, she seemed like she wanted to get back with Bill.
Right. Oh man, I'm like, wait a minute, what you want? And it was just so funny that oh, and just the fact that I gotta say this when Will walked into the bedroom with Bill with no shirt on and Poppy's chest all open, he was gonna try to do a whole formal introduction at that moment. I'm like, put some clothes on, I'll meet you downstairs. That was funny. I was like, dude. And then even Bill mentioned, boy, well, that's an awful introduction. He see me half dressed. Yeah.
And then he ran out the room.
I know. He ran. I mean, honestly, I think you said this, Bree, in the chat, or one of y'all did, that why would you walk into your parents' room with the door closed? Don't you think you ought to knock first?
They don't lock no doors on this show.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's what I said that because who walks into a closed bedroom door, especially when it's your parents? Like that's common courtesy that you knock on the door. I shouldn't have to lock my bedroom door. How about you knock like a normal person before you come in? Especially considering I didn't even know you were coming home.
Right. I mean, if
that's what Will gets.
Right, and even if if Poppy wasn't in there, what if he just got out the shower and was getting dressed? I mean, that's the worst thing. I don't care if your kids are older or younger. You do not want your kids to walk in your bedroom when you ain't got no clothes on. So you should have knocked.
Yeah. He could have been manscaping. He could have been doing anything in there. So knock on the door.
Right. But like he said, well, you open the door, you never know what you might see. So anyway, did we cover everything for Bold? It was only like 2 storylines.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So, and we kind of briefly talked about the other thing. Right quick. So, I don't know if many of you are familiar with Michael Fairman TV. Shout out to him. He always is so close to what's going on either one of the soaps, and he usually put out any new casting news or anything that's happening and things like that. Well, one of the things that he talked about and released today is that the Gates have started casting for people, and look like one of them is a male in his 50s, the other 2 women are in their 40s, one maybe 50, and then a older woman like a matriarch that's in their 70s. So it's going to be interesting to see who they choose. The first person that I thought about, if they're looking for African American woman in the 70s. The first person I thought about is Mamie, the good woman that plays Mamie.
Okay. How old is Debbie Morgan?
I don't know how old Debbie Morgan is. I have to look that up.
I think they really need to get Victoria Rao. I'm surprised you're doing the casting now. I think you touched on that too, T.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since it's supposed to be premiering in January.
Mm-hmm.
But Victoria Rao, Debbie Morgan would have been great. I actually would like to see Carla Mosley.
Mm-hmm.
That brings in that younger demographic as well, because she's a talented actress. So that would have been something new and fresh. And also the actor who plays Justin as well would be great to go over on the gates.
Yeah, I think the guy I don't know how I feel about the characterization of this character, because he's supposed to be a guy that's a criminal defense attorney, and they purposely stated in there that he only got a couple of good traits, and I'm like, okay. Um and I guess there was some cheating happening because one of the women that they're casting is supposed to be his ex-wife, and the name of the family is the Jacksons, and they actually they even have the name of the gated community that they're in as well. So, and I
For
think,
that role?
say it again.
For that role, for that man that you said is well, he would be in his 50s and
Mm-hmm.
he's a defense attorney and he doesn't have that many good qualities. I thought of the name that came to mind immediately was Clifton Powell,
I mean,
because
mm-hmm.
he's a really great actor, and he can play a bad guy really well as well.
Mm-hmm.
If that's so, he would be great. And then for the 70-year-old matriarch, I think she fits around this age. I was thinking of Lynn Whitfield.
Now, Stella White said that Debbie Morgan is 68.
Okay.
So she fits in that category because they did say late 60s, 70s.
And then I think Lynn Whitfield might be around that age too, and she's a tremendous actor. If y'all remember her.
Yeah, exactly. And Amaya, that is correct. They're based in, this family is based in a gated community in Atlanta. Yep. So I am definitely very curious to find out who, but like we were saying, Bree, I would think that they would have started casting like earlier. Don't you?
Yeah, like as soon as the announcement came out, I figured they had already started casting because they had to still write the scripts together. They had to kind of write the storylines like about a month or so ahead, or at least like the same way the other soaps are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, maybe they're still trying to put some things together, which is understandable. But they also had to get the sets together, all of that. But
Yeah.
I figured they would have the casting by now
Yeah. Yeah. I
to create some
mean,
buzz.
because I mean, in 4 months. It should be. I mean, now, granted, Young and the Restless, Bold, they film like 4 weeks in advance. So maybe they figure they got time to get the cast together, and then they'll just start recording episodes to put out. You know what I mean? So
Unless
maybe.
they've already written those scripts like a year before and they were just waiting to get the clearance to actually do the show.
Yeah, maybe so. And they just got to get the people in there to go ahead and do their character. So I just wanted to talk to you guys live about that. I started to do a standalone video about that, but I kind of wanted to see, what you guys on our side say, as well as some of you folks in the chat. So I guess we will see. But yeah, Jenna said Lynn Whitfield would probably be good. I mean, there's a lot of good actors and actresses that had left shows that had canceled. like from Guiding Light and people that no longer on GH or Days, or even folks that's no longer on Young and the Restless and Bold and Beautiful that they could pick up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like Carla Mosley.
Yep. Now they did throw around Darius, and that's what his name was on Bold. Um,
The boy that used to be on
Maya's
Family
dad,
Matters?
Babatunde. I think his last name is Babatunde.
Oh, Mr. Avon.
Yeah, Mr. Avon. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I saw his picture. Yeah.
They thought about him. I mean, if it's
He
possible.
played Julius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He would be perfect.
He has experience playing a cheater.
You know who else they should put over there that we haven't seen in a while is Brittany. The girl that plays the doctor on The Young and the Restless.
Oh, Brittany Starpy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good point.
Okay.
Put her over there. Who else? I'm trying to think of
It
something.
would have been great for Carter.
Or else, and then the girl that oh God, Michelle Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
They can put her over
Remember
there.
Remember that boy who played Tyler on YNR?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's on
Robert
something
Williams.
on BET. He might be on a BET show, but maybe he could do both.
What about Dallas?
Dallas, or even the original Zende.
Rome?
Oh, Rome Flynn?
Yes, Rome Flynn. He could play. He would obviously play a younger character, but maybe he would be that lawyer's son or something like that. Because I think he's in his 30s at this point. So, he could be like, you could match him up with Carla.
I guess we'll see. It's going to be interesting who they pick. I'm excited to find out who their cast list is going to be. Yes, yes, yes. And
and the girl who played Sophia in YNR, I always liked her. What has she been up to?
Oh, I haven't seen. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Bring Moses over there, the twins. Shoot, take Lily from over there. Lily ain't having no luck over at the Young and the Restless. We don't even know if she's going to keep her job.
Now.
You don't want Lily over there?
We know that's not going to happen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's a legacy character for Young and the Restless, so she probably ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, she's cemented over there.
Mm-hmm. So, anyway. Yeah, we are ready for the Gates, TA. I'm excited. Melissa says...
Is there any chance the Gates would be a primetime soap?
Say it again?
Is there any chance the Gates would be a primetime soap?
No, I think it's probably... when the talk comes on at 1 here in Illinois? It's probably going to take that slot because the talk is going off the air January 1st.
Will Gates be half an hour or 1 hour? Has that been discussed?
I heard a half an hour, but I'm not, I'm not 100% certain, but that's what I heard, a half an hour.
So I wonder what they would do with that other half hour from the talk then.
I don't know. They probably throw another show
in. You aired them back to back. No, yeah, because even if they did them back to back with Bold, you would still have, so that's interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Okay, we've been on over 3 hours. And how many people still in the chat, Bree? You know?
It says 97.
Okay, all right.
It's going to be different on.
All right, let's do our segments. I flipped the script and who's taking several seats?
110.
110. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Steady.
Cool. So for our flip the script segment, if there's a particular scene or storyline you wish you could change, this is where we flip the script. So what script are you flipping on The Young and the Restless?
For me, personally, I wouldn't have Devon warn Lily about Victor taking over.
Okay.
I would have let her fall on her face on her own.
Okay. What about you, Jay?
For me, I would have gotten rid of this whole Sharon breakdown storyline because we've had enough, as we talked about earlier on the show.
Mm-hmm.
We've had enough of the gloom and doom. Summer is supposed to be about fun, new romances, flings, and I would have just had a story where her and Nick got together. Where they were building something back up together, and had something nice and hopeful instead of another depressing, doomful storyline for Sharon.
Okay. I would have flipped Claire's wardrobe because I mean, having her dressed like one of y'all said, selling the Girl Scout cookies and having her going to private school with that plaited skirt and a book bag on. Y'all, come on, y'all got to do something with that character. And then if I had to flip something else, somebody needs to stand 10 toes down with Summer and give her, at least if she's going to do this, let her go in with her eyes wide open and not just let her just give into her emotions into this thing. Like, look, I understand you want what you want, but you gotta know what you up against. So, all right.
And if I could flip another one, I would have just have Lucy being a regular teenager, hanging out with Johnny and Katie and kids her age, instead of doing what they're doing with her right now.
Yep, I got you.
That's not on trend for 2024.
All right, what y'all flipping on bold?
We're stuck. I would flip, and Steffy when Finn came into the office, Steffy and Finn to start kissing and getting it on and start making Hope feel jealous and say, we're going to, kind of like what you were saying, T, they actually leave Hope in that office be by herself.
Mm-hmm.
No man, no nothing.
Yeah, she kept pushing the whole thing that my mom is having fun and romance, and if I was Steffi, I'd be like, well, I'm gonna have some fun and romance here in LA with my husband. What you doing? Oh yeah, nothing.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And for me, since this is summer and we should really be having some heat and we're not really getting it on either of these shows, I would flip Hope and her silly little fantasies and pursuing Finn, and I would have her just have an illicit affair with Carter.
Illicit?
Yeah.
Why gotta be illicit?
Well, it's hot and taboo and forbidden. So,
I know, I'm just messing with you. Oh man. Okay. Who's taking seats on the Young and the Restless?
For me, Summer, Lucy, and Billy.
By the way, Melissa said they should give Claire something from the Brooke bedroom line. For what?
Well, she don't want to act like a grown woman. She wants to act like a child.
Who's she gonna be modeling that for? Her stuffed teddy bears?
Melissa, I know you're trying to spice up some kind of way. I feel you on that, Melissa. But I don't know, girl. And then Belinda, of course, said Daniel not allow Lucy to go to the concert. And some folks just don't want Hope going after Finn. And Steffi called Dollar Bill and used his jet to go to Monaco. That's a good one. She couldn't fly commercial. She talking about But anyway.
Liam would have gave it to her for sure.
Yeah, I know. Did y'all finish y'all flips for Young? I mean, not flips. Your taking seats.
The seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you give yours?
I didn't.
Mine was going to be Summer and Victoria, and Daniel actually, because he needs to get a hold of his daughter.
I agree. Yeah, Kyle need to take a seat, and Summer need to take a seat, because Kyle shouldn't have came in his daddy. His daddy was trying to take the high road, and he set him off. Well, you got what you got.
And Phyllis.
Yeah, and Summer needs to take a seat, because right now she's definitely on Delulu Island, so I'm sorry. I understand she want this boy, but it's like at what cost? All right, who's taking seats on Bold?
The writing for me and the production, Brad Bell, for just not really giving us, something to really sink our teeth into. It seems like there's been a lot of filler episodes. Like yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
I would say Katie and the writing team.
I think Hope need to take a seat. She was annoying, trying to push a line that only is good enough to go to the Goodwill. Go sit down, Hope. And I think that who else? I think that's probably because y'all took Katie already.
Yeah.
Yeah, and RJ for running his mouth. It's like, dude, really? You
RJ
gay?
a snitch.
What'd you say?
RJ a snitch.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this all blows up because of what he said about what happened with his girlfriend. I'm wondering if Luna would even still want to be with RJ because he wasn't supposed to tell that. I'd be
She
mad.
will, because she would forgive him because he forgave her for sleeping with Zende.
Mm. Yep. All right, and now we have our star of the week, Young and the Restless.
You want to go first, Bree?
Sharon Case for sure. I will definitely give her that. She's playing the hell out of Sharon's role right now.
I'm gonna give it to Allison Lanier because she getting on my nerves, so she must be doing a good job.
And for me, I'm gonna give it to Sharon Case's scene partner, Lyndon Ashby, because he was cooking. When he was telling her, "Dick don't want you," and getting all up in her face and getting in her head,
Oh
and that man was
yeah.
going to work. That man was putting in work. I was like,
He
goodness.
said you are used goods. Ain't nobody want you.
He said he does not want you.
You could say that about a lot of people on that show, to be honest.
I like when he came. That's why he was an Emmy nominee for what he did last year with Cameron Kirsten.
Yeah, he's
Lyndon
a really good actor.
Ashby. What'd you say?
He's a really good actor. He's very charismatic.
I would love to see him and his wife act in a scene together. They had a cute little scene last year when they was at the bar.
GCAC, yeah.
But
I'm sure they've made Lifetime movies together. I thought.
oh, I don't know. But I'm
Or
telling you,
Hallmark or something. Yeah.
them two, they've been married for what 38 years or something like that. I think they might have even met on the soaps. And they are inseparable. When you see one, you see the other. They're always throwing dinner parties. They're hiking. They're traveling. I love watching them two together because it's hard sometimes. In when you put two actors together, it's hard to keep them together. But they've been together a long time.
Yeah, because you see what happened with Brad and Angelina. And now that man's kids is taking his last name off theirs, and oof.
It's ugly.
Yes, it is.
And what's that other dude? What's Jennifer Lopez and that other guy?
Yeah, and that was gonna happen. They about to break up again.
I know.
They should have never doubled back.
Right. Star of the week, Bold.
It was such a lackluster week. Darn, Star of the week.
I give it to Crew for his first appearance.
Yeah, I was about to say, and I'll also give it to Heather Tom too, because give her anything, she gonna act the hell out of it.
Yeah, I'll go Heather Tom too. Even though Katie was annoying me, Heather was doing her job. Yeah. So I'll give it to Heather.
Pickle of the week, Young and the Restless.
Summer.
Yeah, that was sour. What you got, Bree?
The pickle. I'm gonna say Victor still.
Victor?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna give it to Daniel. He was just way too passive when it comes to his daughter. You gonna hold her accountable and then still let her go to the concert. Yeah. Pickle of the week, bold.
Hope.
Absolutely.
She
Yep.
desperately needs one.
Hope.
Oh,
I'll go
So she
hope
can
as
mind
well.
her business.
she need a pickle, Brie.
She desperately needs one. She forever in heat. I think someone said in the comments too that she was in heat when she saw Carter too. That's why I don't want to even ruin Carter's life like that by handing him a low. Like, no, not Hope.
You know how
I'd rather him and Steffy.
you know how when cats go in heat, they be rubbing all up against your leg and carrying on.
I mean, she probably do at home because who else is going to do that for her?
That's Hope. She said, "Ooh, I see a man. Let me throw my weight around." That is hilarious. All right, you guys. I know it's been a long one. We covered a lot this week, even though to me, I guess to us rather, the storylines were kind of slow. We still talked about a lot.
Our conversations are more interesting than what we see.
I was thinking that earlier. Our conversation is better than this week's episodes.
Exactly. I agree. I agree. All right, you guys, stay tuned. Thank you for coming. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Also, make sure that you're subscribed to this channel and follow us on all of the other platforms. Stay tuned for the spoilers for the week of August 5th, August 9th. I kind of talked about it a little bit throughout the show. So you guys kind of got a little tidbits if you haven't even, because some people, y'all ahead of me. Because I see folks like, did you heard? Have you seen? Yeah. So y'all are on it when y'all hear little things. So I appreciate the little tidbits. All right. Other than that, we will end it here. Do you guys have anything else?
No, I'm good.
No, I think I'm good. I'll announce my other little stuff, I think, Wednesday.
Alrighty, and yeah, Keish had to jump off. She's traveling, so she had to pack and get ready for some stuff. So she gave us a little bit of her content, and then she had to head out. So, um, be careful. Have a safe trip, and Trish, feel better soon. I know she's probably listening, but she has no voice. So, feel better soon, Trish. And otherwise, we will see you guys next time. Thank you, Janet. I appreciate you. Thank you,
Be better,
guys.
Chris. Have a good weekend, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye bye.